Hey everyone, welcome to Snarf Talk with Chris.
And Jerry.
And this is our podcast where we give you a behind the scenes look as we create a comic book.
We're going to talk about TV, movies, comic books, and hopefully have a lot of guests, other writers, creators, and friends.
Check us out at snarfcomics.com. You can check out our blog and follow along with everything we got going on. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Snarf Comics. And please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes.
Enjoy the episode. And we're back.
Hey-o.
That means go.
That's pretty excited. I'm very excited.
Aren't you always excited?
2 times this week.
I know.
We're double recording session.
That's just like I said in the last podcast. We are professional.
That's because of rain, man.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Not Rain Man. Rain.
Not what's that guy's name?
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman. That's right. His favorite character of mine. Dustin Hoffman's favorite character of mine.
Tootsie.
No, Mumbles in Dick Tracy.
You've said that many times.
Have I? Oh my gosh.
Yes, we had a whole episode where you talked about Dick Tracy.
Oh, it's so good. I love that movie.
I need to rewatch that. I really
love
do.
it.
I know
There's
I enjoyed
Al
it as well.
Pacino, Madonna, Dustin Hoffman.
I love those like Dick Tracy and The Rocketeer. I love The Rocketeer too.
Yeah, The Rocketeer's good. That movie was pretty decent.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The movie, The Rocketeer. What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought there was like a cartoon too.
No, there was a comic.
Well, I know there was a comic. I thought there was a cartoon.
The guy that directed The Rocketeer was
Jim Belushi.
It was?
Yeah.
It was Joe Johnston. And he also made another movie.
Joe Johnston.
Yeah. Do you want to know what that other movie is?
I'm going to say it was Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
No.
Okay.
Captain America, the First Avenger.
No way. Was it really?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, you think
no,
so?
he
So
definitely
it's not...
no. He did the Captain America, and don't you notice they kind of have a similar style, look, and feel? No, he did.
You're sure?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, all
sure.
right.
They do have a similar look and feel. You know what else he directed?
Yeah, I would agree. It does.
He directed Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Man, this
He
man
directed
is old.
the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles TV series.
Wow.
He directed Jumanji.
The original one?
Yes.
Original movie?
He directed Jurassic Park 3. He directed
the one
Hidalgo.
everyone hates?
No, I liked 3.
I know, but I think it's like widely
you're
not liked.
He directed The Nutcracker and the Four Realms.
Don't care about that one.
No, The Wolfman too. The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones, Spring Break Adventure
Oh, wow. Spring Breakers.
in 1999. And there was another show, The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones. I don't remember this show. TV series, 1 episode. That's why. It was probably a pilot.
Nobody ever wanted
I
to
do
watch
remember The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, which I loved. Wait, no, that's a different show too.
that. Yeah, that.
Oh, no, that just means he directed 1 episode. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, and there you go on your Jim Johnson, or
That
what
has
is
been
it?
the Joe Johnston.
Joe Johnston.
He was born in Austin, Texas.
Thank you, Joe Johnston.
He's a real American hero.
I only like 2 of your movies. No, that's not true. I like more than 2, but
Anyway,
whatevs.
you don't like October Sky? Featuring Matt
Damon.
No, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh. Jake Gyllenhaal, the guy that you said was too big of a star to be Mysterio.
Yeah. It's
What a
Mysterioist to me that he's Mysterio.
That was bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad one.
Speaking of the Marvel Universe, or did you have something you wanted to talk about?
No, go. I mean, you.
I heard some interesting news today, Jerry.
Okay.
And it's not new news, so I don't know.
I don't know if I know this news.
It's not new news, but
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't catch it.
I haven't heard any news.
So they were talking,
Today.
and I was reading an article about Avengers Endgame box office, which is now like 2.4 billion,
Yeah.
which is crazy. But I don't, and I officially at this point, I'm predicting that it will not top Avatar.
Really?
I mean, it's been out for 3 weeks now.
It was the 26th.
I just don't think movies have that long of a tail these days.
It's a full 2 weeks today, right? Because it came out on a Thursday.
I don't know, but
the 25th.
But like Detective Pikachu came out. It's making a lot of money.
Is it?
Yeah. I just think it might get there slowly. It might fight its way up there.
Yeah, we're talking 300 million.
Anyway,
who cares?
Robert Downey Jr. He had a deal with Marvel from originally. So his original contract, he was a risky bet, right?
Yeah.
So he had a low paying contract with a lot of back end.
Oh.
And they didn't know what was going to happen with all these Marvel movies.
Whoa.
So he's been making like Infinity War, he made $75 million. He's probably going to make $100 million on Endgame, is projected at this point.
Are you kidding?
Even Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson, those guys, they were making like 10, 20, they're going to make like 10, 20, $30 million on this movie because they have some back end in their contract too. They also signed early on contracts, right?
Right.
So they were talking about the profit structure of Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame.
Okay.
Because Infinity War, for round numbers, let's say it made $2 billion.
Yeah.
Disney is saying the profit on that is only $500 million. So after all was said and done, it cost them $1.5 billion to make, market, and
are you kidding
do everything
me?
with that movie. Now, studios are known to be deceptive because
you don't want people to know how much profit you just made.
When movies are profitable, they have to pay out the actors and stuff based on that.
Yeah.
So they've been known to recoup their costs in overbloating certain things. But in any case, that makes sense to me. I mean, it's a big movie.
Yeah.
Marketing budgets are huge. I know that.
Yeah, marketing is where the majority of the cost comes from. Even like on big movies like that. Obviously, it takes a lot to make a movie like that because of the CGI. But
but it's also the huge cast. I mean, they're going to pay out if they're paying out Robert Downey Jr. $100 million and Chris Evans $30 million.
Yeah, this particular movie is odd. It's a different type. But I'm saying like a big budget movie, a lot of the cost, like a lot of that cost comes from marketing.
Right.
Because they put
sometimes double
everywhere.
the budget.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so this was, they were kind of diving in deep on all this, and they were saying, when they signed all those initial contracts with the initial people, they didn't know how successful things were going to be. And so after a while, that's why they never made an Iron Man 4. Robert Downey Jr. was just going to make too much money.
Yeah.
Since then, they've changed studio heads, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, don't cry for Disney. They made $500 million in profit
from one movie. And they're putting out how many movies a year now? And they have their hand in everything.
The point was this second generation of people to sign contracts now. They're wanting to make these other movies because they were able to lock Benedict Cumberbatch, and I don't know about him, and Chadwick Boseman and Brie Larson, all these people. They're able to lock them into contracts, $3 million a movie, right. $5 million a movie.
That's what I was just going to bring up.
And they're staying there with no or little back end.
Brie Larson's going to get like really worked over on the profit.
Yeah, she made $3 million
compared to any
Marvel.
of the other people. Yeah,
right. But it totally makes sense from their point. And now they have the bona fides behind them to be like, hey, you want to be a Marvel superhero? You want 8 movies? You want to be a superstar?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're not going to make $100 million a movie.
Right.
Because you're not the draw.
Right. Marvel is
Brie Larson, Chadwick Boseman, well, they're all great. They're not the draw. Mm-hmm. The Marvel logo, the character and stuff is, which is totally reasonable to me. And actually, in my point in all this, I like that because that means they're going to make more of these things. Because when these things start to cost $1 billion to make, they're going to stop making them.
Yeah, you can't keep making that. It's not a
sustainable.
Good idea. If you have one fail, it ruins everything.
Right. So
and it's possible to have a fail. But also, it doesn't make sense to pay that much money to all these people. But even so, these people, let's say they make $3 or $4 million a movie. That's still higher than most movies that they're going to be on, and it's going to create so much business for you.
Well, and
Like, you're going to get so many jobs because of that after that contract.
and let's be honest. I mean, that's plenty of money for anybody.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean,
$3 million for 2 years work. Sign me up.
Yep, I'll do that. Sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. But here's what's crazy off of that. So think about, okay, Robert Downey Jr. made $100 million. Floyd Mayweather made like $125 million off of that fight
off one fight, yeah.
With what's his name? Conor McGregor.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean,
can you like the money in boxing and fighting like that? How does that happen?
Pay-per-view. It's like $25-$50 to watch a fight.
So we're talking about these movies and think that these are astronomical numbers, but yet a guy that literally like bounced around in a ring for maybe an hour.
No, he probably trained for a year.
I don't think he trained for a year. I think he did whatever he wanted.
Right.
I think he's just like lucky and luckily very good at his job.
You're really good at punching people.
But
not really good at his job.
But even just
Floyd Mayweather is not really good at his job. He's the best boxer that's ever.
But even so, like even if it's just training for a year, I would train at his pace. I don't care how hard he may train. I would do that for 125, 130, whatever, how many.
You'd get in a ring with Conor McGregor.
For 125 million, yeah.
You'd be dead.
I don't think so. I don't think he'd go out and kill you.
Yes, he would.
Oh, as soon as he hit me at all, like if I felt any contact, I would literally act like I'm dead.
Yeah. No, I think that you would straight up die. In like
no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his punch can't be killer worthy.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
No, I'm not made of glass. But anyway,
my point in talking about all this was that in that same article, that was a long way to get to this. In that same article, there was a link to another article that said Chris Hemsworth. Now his contract ended in 2000. It ended at Endgame, right?
Yeah.
He has in fact signed a new contract with Marvel for additional movies.
Okay. So he will be with.
He will be back.
He will be with Guardians, then.
And there will likely be a Thor 4, probably.
I'm down with that.
And I'm guessing they can go back to Chris Hemsworth and said, "Hey, okay, you got us last time. We paid you $30 million a movie. You're going to make $5 million a movie now."
And I don't think he'd be.
How many movies is Chris Hemsworth going to go do and make $5 million?
Right.
And he's a superstar. Just a lot of places aren't paying that much anymore. You know, like Chris Pratt got $10 million for Jurassic Park 2. That was huge money.
That's a lot.
You know, Will Smith can get, that much money. But can he even? I mean, a lot of these movies, they're just not big, huge things.
I mean, $10 million is a lot of money to give away when, if for real a $2.4 billion movie is only profiting 500 from that, I mean, a movie that might make 500 million is not getting anywhere close to
right.
Probably not even close to 100 million in profit. So paying someone 10 million is a lot of money.
So this has been and there's kind of a lot of over the years, like horror movies are notorious for being the most profitable movies, right? Because they have a $10-20 million budget, then they go out and make a $500 million, like The Conjuring.
Yeah, right.
And the cost to make that movie was 20 or 30 million, and it made like 10 times, 15 times.
Yeah, like Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, things like that. So that's why you see a lot of horror movies. That's why we have so many horror movies out. So DC has made a concerted effort to go that direction. So they want to make smaller movies. That's why we're getting the Joker movie. That's why we're getting
I'm so excited.
A lot of these types of things. So they're making a concerted effort to go back to these lower budget movies that hit big, which is genius because the IP is what sells, right?
Yes, that's what sells. And
so you go make a Joker movie for $200 million and it makes $500 million.
Yeah.
You go make a Joker movie for $20 million and it makes $400 million. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's going to.
I don't know, but
in today's world, with as many superhero movies that come out, I feel like 100 to 200 million is low. for any of those movies to make. I'm saying.
Yeah.
So even a Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, if it did cost $20 million, and even if they don't market it as widely as what, if it's not on McDonald's cups and you're not getting Happy Meals toys and you don't see big billboards, I don't really think that'll affect it as much because everyone's on the internet. Everyone sees the trailers.
I see that movie making 100 to 250 million.
Yeah, I think that's right in the wheelhouse, and I think they'll profit a lot of money off of that. But everybody will go see these movies.
Right.
I really do think that. And especially a Joker movie when it's done like indie-ish, that draws me big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
I think what they were getting at is like say goodbye probably to your hopes of the DC interconnected universe. I think it's not going to happen, or on the back burner at least. Yeah, until they get out of Marvel's shadow.
And that doesn't bother me.
Marvel's doing that. And with that last Spider-Man trailer, it's clear to me that they're going to continue in that direction. That's fine. And their strategy for being able to do that is, hey, we know better now. We're going to sign these people to, $5 million movie contracts.
Right. Which only makes sense. Especially when you think about it 10 years ago and you're starting a franchise and you have no idea where it's going to go. Like, what did they care?
Right.
At the time, like, okay, you want 2% of whatever is made on the back end? Sure.
What's difficult is, you get to certain IP. So you get to Spider-Man specifically, and you go, okay, well, how many movies do we want Tom Holland to do? Because if you sign him for whatever, his 6 movies or 7 movies, and then you run out of that, and you got to go re-sign him. Spider-Man isn't Iron Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man's a little bit different. So, Batman's a little bit different. So
for sure, I don't understand how Spider-Man isn't bigger than Iron Man, really, and when it comes to the movies.
Well, I think it was. I think those Iron Man,
Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, you think were bigger than the Iron Mans?
Yeah,
really?
Probably. Yeah, those were big movies. Well, at least one.
I thought the Iron Mans made like a huge.
I don't think those Amazing Spider-Mans did great.
Oh yeah, with I kind of forget about those.
Andrew Garfield. I actually thought they were pretty good.
I like Emma Stone a lot.
Yeah,
she was my draw to those movies. Was her
not Kirsten Dunst?
Not Kirsten. No.
Wait, Emma Stone was playing Gwen Stacy, right?
Yes.
They didn't have a Mary Jane in that.
No, and she dies in it.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good movie, man.
It is good. I didn't think he was a bad Spider-Man.
He's too confident.
He's not a good Peter Parker.
Too cool.
He's a good Spider-Man, not a good Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Peter Parker's not confident and cool.
It's hard to go back now, and I liked the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, but it's kind of hard to go rewatch them.
Ugh. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I did watch Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
It was actually right before the last time we recorded. We were watching it that night before the boys went to bed. And that's why I was here later, because I just was standing there still watching the movie. Gosh, that's just a really good movie.
Yeah.
But I love the very beginning when he's like, I did this, and yes, I also did this. And they just show him dancing, But it's in the suit, like in his own suit. It wasn't the black, I just like that, like the callback to what they did in all of those movies. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
And it makes sense since it's Into the Spider-Verse, so it's showing everything Spider-Man's
every iteration.
Done. Yep.
Well, now what are we doing? We got Snarf Madness is over.
It is.
The big Avengers review's over.
That is too.
We're caught up to Game of Thrones reviewing.
Yep.
This is a free ride.
It is kind of. We definitely have your what's in the box.
Oh yeah, we got some what's in the box in.
And then the what you're watching.
I got a bunch of some news and some what you're watching.
Yeah, we got what you're watching, but we'll start off with the news. The only news that I've acquired over the last 2 days is one trailer that came out. It was a teaser trailer for HBO. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope. Oh, Chernobyl?
No.
That did come out too.
That's out. Yeah, the show is actually out.
Oh, okay. Looks kind of interesting.
It's a show. I don't know if you'll really know the comic book that it's based off of, but it's called Watchmen. Do you know that?
Yeah. There's a trailer out?
Yeah. A teaser trailer.
I knew they were making a Watchmen show, and I don't know how we never mentioned it on the podcast before.
Yeah, the teaser trailer's out. It's supposed to come out this fall.
I love The Watchmen. What are they doing?
So
The original book?
It's not an original like iteration of the book. It's a continuation of the book.
So it's post the movie?
Yes,
Is
I
it
guess.
Connected to the movie at all?
The movie was just like
The movie was the book, basically.
was a take on the book, yes. But this is following up like the ending of Alan Moore's run.
So you don't need to have any previous knowledge?
I don't think so. It's hard to judge it off of a teaser trailer.
There's no way they can make a show about the Watchmen.
Well, here's the deal.
That needs previous knowledge.
The only thing that you see that is recognizable to any of the characters is Rorschach.
Okay.
So they're
my favorite character.
So at the end of the Watchmen, the whole run, it's the police force finds Rorschach's journal and his book that he keeps, or I can't remember if they actually find it or if they were about to find it, or it implies that they're going to find this book. Anyway, this what I gathered from the teaser is that I'm thinking they did find it and came out with all of this information, like news-wise, that was in this book, and it kind of started this like militia, like a Rorschach militia, because the people that you see, it's just people wearing a Rorschach mask. It's not. It's almost like the V for Vendetta guy. What's that? It's like that type of deal. That's how they're portraying it. As a bunch of people are wearing this mask, walking around, as like a type of militia, and you see them breaking into a house. And then the police force are also wearing masks, but they're like they're just like a yellow stretchy mask, but they're still in a police uniform. Why that is, I'm not quite sure. But you can see two sides of the coin there. And throughout the whole teaser, they keep saying, like the Rorschach people keep saying, tick, 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 tick. The whole time.
So they're doing the doomsday clock.
That reminds me of the doomsday clock.
That's what they're doing. That must be it.
And they show a couple watches, but then Dr. Manhattan always has a watch with him. Like he has this watch. What is it? It's called Artemis something. No, Artemis was the little ship that what's his name? Night Owl flies in. But anyway, there's a watch that resembles something with Dr. Manhattan, and then you see a little flying thing that looks like the Artemis 2, but I think it's a police like chopper because it's got like writing on the side. It's not the same color, but it's a similar shape, but it's really dark, so I don't know really what it was, but it crashed. It looks pretty neat. I mean, I'm definitely going to watch it regardless.
There's no doubt, and that's going to be. I hope they. Throw everything at it and try and go for the Game of Thrones audience.
Oh, that would be amazing if
they could get it big like that would be great.
Yeah.
Because if you guys haven't read The Watchmen.
The Watchmen needs a big show.
It does.
It needs something big.
It needs a
like
big
that.
budget.
The story is so big.
If you guys haven't read the book, read the book. The movie's pretty damn good too.
I love the movie. But
it's just scratches this tiny little surface and it's like of the depth of the book.
It's like a 50-50 split when you come to ask people about the Watchmen movie. Some people say, oh, it was stupid, I hated it, it wasn't anything close to the book.
It definitely wasn't stupid.
Me personally, I think it looks very, very good.
Yeah.
To the art of what the Watchmen is and what you see on screen, it's like, to me, I think it's like dead on. I think the Rorschach character is amazing.
Very good.
The Dr. Manhattan, besides his big blue, like glowing penis in your face, other than that, he's great.
Yeah.
I loved it. But yes, it scratches the surface of what the Watchmen is because it's so big. Yeah. Right. Not the penis, the book. You know what I meant?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. No, definitely. That's exciting. I forgot that was coming out, and I forgot, all about that.
I think it's after they've kind of split up. There's a funeral, which reminds me of like the comedian dying. Maybe he did. I read a thing today about how Night Owl was a police officer before he started doing the whole superhero thing. So
there's a lot of source material since the original book, that was it for a long time. the movie really spurred the comics to come back.
Come back, yeah.
So they did a before Watchmen run. They've done a Doomsday Clock run.
I started Doomsday Clock, and I haven't finished all of it yet. I don't think it's done, though.
I don't think so either.
I don't think it's done, but because it's spanning like multiple books,
right?
To where it's
it's like a DC
Flash,
crossover event.
Yeah, Superman, Batman. And
I have,
It all is based off of the Flash.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. It's very good. I've read quite a few of them. I'm not even like
I heard mixed reviews on the whole Before Watchmen series, so I didn't really jump into it.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I saw a trailer too. A very controversial trailer. Very controversial.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Rocked the internet, if you will.
I'm kind of up on internet stuff.
I've never heard this many people discussing teeth until I started reading about the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer.
Sonic the Hedgehog, yes. Okay. And eyeballs. They're all talking about his eyeballs.
To the point, it got such a negative reaction that they are redoing the character.
Good. Honestly, I think they should. Have you seen it? I mean, you've seen it.
I totally saw it. It didn't bother me 1 second. I didn't even put a second thought into it.
But, I mean, if you weren't a big Sonic the Hedgehog gamer guy to begin with,
I played all the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff.
So why wouldn't that? I think the eyes should bother you because it makes him look completely different.
I think people's complaints were that they made him look like a human, kind of. He was like tall and lanky, with like a big torso, shorter legs, and then he had teeth, which he's had teeth. I mean, what's the teeth thing?
I don't know why they care about teeth.
And then like something about him looking like he has fur instead of quills.
It does look like fur.
It does look like fur. I mean, I can't argue that, but
he's a hedgehog.
Did not run into it before I learned about the controversy. I saw the trailer. I didn't think one thing about it. I thought, hey, this looks like a kid's movie. And
it does.
Jim Carrey is in it. Well,
I think he'll be the best part of the movie.
I'm like, I can't believe he's in that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were going that mainstream with it to put Jim Carrey in it.
No.
And he looks great. I mean, it looks like a 1990s Jim Carrey going on there.
Yes.
It looks like it's one of those kid type, it'll be a fun movie, I'm sure. What I did think was really strange, which people have commented on, and I totally agree with, is like, why is Gangsta's Paradise the background music for that trailer?
Yeah, I'm not quite.
That's weird. It doesn't make any sense, and I don't like that.
Right. Yeah, I don't like it either. I feel like they kind of scrimped on the CGI a little bit. I don't think it's that great.
I thought it looked pretty cool. I mean, I think it'll be... Hey, this isn't a movie
I'm taking it as more of an animation movie rather than like a...
Looks like
come to life movie.
Like that Woody Woodpecker movie, kind of.
Yes, which is not good.
No, that was a bad movie.
That movie is 100% banned in my house. I've talked about it before. I loved Woody Woodpecker as a kid, the cartoon. We do not let them watch that movie.
It does look like that, though.
Well, now you did ruin it for me because I freaking hate that Woody Woodpecker movie.
I like Sonic the Hedgehog games more as much as anybody, I guess. It's not like Mario where it's like an immersive
I don't know.
world.
Yeah, I loved Sonic. On my Game Gear, I had a Sega Game Gear.
You're one of the Game Gear people.
Loved it. Yeah.
Never had a Game Gear. Always wanted one.
Yeah.
But I did play it on the Genesis.
It did. It probably made me a little bit more successful because I had a Game Gear.
Because you got geared.
Yeah, I was geared up. And I used to play, it was called Rampage.
Oh, yeah.
The dinosaurs, and there was a gorilla and stuff, and you fought it. It was basically Mortal Kombat with
You know what's
dinosaurs.
funny is there was a game. I forgot about this game. It was one of my favorite games on original NES Nintendo. It was called Rampage. It was the movie. They just made a movie. It was based on it.
That's the game I played.
Yeah, and that was based off a Nintendo game where you could choose to be either a giant like lizard guy or a giant gorilla guy.
Yeah.
And you went out in this town, and all you did was climb up buildings and just smash them.
Yes.
You remember that game?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that game.
Yeah, it was great. But the one I had for Game Gear
I know
was
what
like
you're talking about.
They
For
fought
Sega.
each other. And then there was another one, Turok.
Turok the Dinosaur Hunter.
Yes. That was on Game Gear.
That was
as
a
well,
first-person shooter.
Then it came out on N64. And
There was a bunch of weird
really good.
first-person shooters. That was like huge for a while. Remember there was like Primal Rage?
that's what it was.
Okay, that was dinosaurs.
That was dinosaurs. That's what I had.
Okay.
It wasn't Rampage. It was Primal Rage.
You remember the clay one?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm thinking of.
The clay one?
No, Primal Rage.
Oh,
I'm just...
you remember Clay Fighters? I think it was called Clay Fighters.
Okay, no, I don't remember that. Clayface is my arch enemy, so... Because I'm Batman.
Clay Fighters. Yeah, for Genesis. I used to have that game. Well, I remember renting that game from the Amazon
I didn't
Market.
have Genesis. I had Game Gear.
They had the same games. They're both Sega.
I know. I didn't have...
you don't remember the thing
Fighters.
for Clay Fighters? It was like a Frosty the Snowman. They were all like claymation figures, and it was like one-on-one fighting.
Nope. Sounds really stupid and dumb.
I had Mortal Kombat.
Oh, of course.
When I was in middle school,
You better have Mortal
Mr.
Kombat.
Rusty Ruggles
Yeah.
allowed us to bring in our Sega Genesises
Yes.
and
This is the second time you've told
tie
this
them
story.
together and have a Mortal Kombat tournament. How did that happen?
I don't know.
That's a rated M for mature game.
Well, M is for mature?
Yeah.
Well, you were a mature 5th grader.
No, it was like 8th grade.
Oh, you were a mature 8th grader, though.
I was.
Very mature. So I think that's where
They had a character in Clay Fighters called Ichabod Clay. A ghost with a pumpkin head.
That
He can
shows
throw
you.
balls of ectoplasm. They had Helga, an obese
Wait.
opera singer with incredibly large breasts.
That's
That's the
Okay.
Wikipedia description.
okay. Yeah, but Wikipedia is written by somebody.
Yeah, it was an interesting. They had a bunch of that. Remember Toe Jam and Earl?
I do. Yes,
I never
do.
played that. I always wanted to, and I never played it.
Do you remember
Pa Rappa the Rappa?
No. I know what you're talking about. Earthworm Jim.
Oh yeah, Earthworm Jim.
He was great. That was a great
I had that game.
I played the crap out of that game.
I had like the guide. I bought the guide.
Yeah, I had that too. I used to buy guides all the time.
Oh, yeah.
For the Medal of Honor games for PlayStation when they
Back
first
in the day,
came
you
out.
had to guide up.
had to guide up, and I also Siphon Filter. I had to get the guide for Siphon Filter. I don't know if you
I
were.
thought it was just siphon filter. I've never heard anybody say siphon.
Well, I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, so kill me.
I always bought guides. Yeah, totally. But then Victor, my buddy Vic, he just would cheat and buy like the cartridges that cheat.
Game Shark.
Game Shark.
Yeah.
I always hated that.
Game Shark guide. That was a Danny Stapleton move as well.
My favorite game of all. What's your favorite video game of all time?
David's gonna laugh at that. That was only for him, basically.
What was your favorite video game of all time? I don't know if we've talked about this, but
My favorite video game of all time.
yes.
Oofda. Let me think.
No, you don't get time to think.
I know. I just have
react.
to throw one out.
You just have to react.
It would probably be one of those Mortal Kombat's up there. It would probably
If Mortal
be,
Kombat's up there on your list of your favorite games of all time,
I love Mortal
I'm
Kombat.
gonna slap that microphone out of your
It would
face.
probably be one of those Medal of Honor games.
Medal
Because
of Honor.
I haven't played video games in a really, really long time.
No, I don't remember what are the Medal of Honor games.
It was like a first-person shooter.
was like
but
early
was in
Call of Duty, right?
World War II, yeah.
Yeah, but they had a Call of Duty in World War II, right? World at War.
Yes, they did. But I played Medal of Honor before
I that was before him. I remember that. I never had any of those games.
Like I played all of them. I would get them as soon as they came out if I could. And yeah, I just played the crap out of them.
I just
constantly.
not a big first-person shooter guy.
But I was so obsessed with like World War II and
Yeah.
stuff when I was a kid and the Army in general. That
Did you ever play America's Armies?
No.
It was it's the video game that the Army made and put out. Everybody played it when I was in college.
I had it. I did. I bought that and I never finished
no,
it
was
because
free.
I was.
It was free. You downloaded
was?
it. It was on it was a computer game.
Oh, then I
It was
didn't
like a
have that.
third-person online multiplayer game,
Okay. I
or
don't
first
remember
person. You could do it either first person or third person.
I remember the game you're talking about, but I don't think I had it. And then because I moved into Xbox and I started playing a lot of Xbox games, and I remember getting the game Black.
I remember that game.
That was another first-person shooter game. I was really big into shooter games.
Yeah.
But then I got into Tiger Woods. I played a lot of Tiger Woods, a lot of Madden.
I played a lot of Halo, original Halo
yeah,
in
and
college.
Halo. What the hell? You can't ask me a question like that off the top of my head.
Played a lot of Knights of the Old Republic. My favorite game of all time, since you didn't reciprocate the question, with no doubt whatsoever, was Final Fantasy VII. Obsessed with that game.
Oh, yeah.
It's an incredible game.
The majority of all gamers are, but I've never been a Final Fantasy fan.
Second to that would be probably Jedi Knight, Dark Forces Jedi Knight 2.
Okay.
It's a computer game, first-person computer game. Or number 3 could be Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Oh.
Great.
Isn't it Ocarina?
No. Ocarina.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're saying that wrong.
Am I? Well, anyway. So, anyway, that was
a good question, though.
Long way to go on the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, which I didn't think looks too bad.
I'm on the fence. I don't know if I'll ever.
It's not made for us.
I don't think I'll ever.
Which is odd. Somebody mentioned that in the comic that I read. They were like, this is geared towards kids that have no idea what Sonic the Hedgehog is.
I think they were playing it safe.
Well, you know what? There are Sonic games now. I'm sure kids play Sonic, right? I know Cash plays one on my phone.
But it's not
it's like Sonic Run or something.
Yeah, we have that too. It's not the same.
It's not a very good game.
It's terrible, actually. It's really hard because it's like impossible to do. The character goes too fast. Can't control it.
Old man Jerry. That Sonic boy, he's too fast.
That's Sonic, man. He needs to slow down.
He's messing up my yard. He's leaving rings all over the place. I can't even chew my chickens around with that damn hedgehog.
My chicks. Hello, ladies. I don't know if you saw my Snapchat, but
no, I didn't.
Well, you need to check Snapchat a little more often, Chris, because I put up some relatively mediocre stuff. Okay?
I am not a Snapchatter a fan. It's too much.
I mean, too much on how? It's all in how much effort you want to put into it. I put very minimal effort in it, and I'm completely satisfied.
It's definitely the most personal of the social medias because you feel like everybody on my Snapchat is literally like people that I know and interact with.
Yes.
So I see their day, I guess. Whereas if that was on Facebook or Instagram, it would get lost in the fray.
It would.
Like I would never follow anybody's Instagram. I mean, I follow people on Instagram, but you never see their stuff, you know?
I also feel like it's not as put on. Like people aren't trying to put on a show for you or put on an image that makes things look better.
That's so funny because I just had this discussion with Marley today.
Oh, really?
Because I was looking at Snapchat, which I only check my Snapchat maybe once every other day. I don't get very much action on the Snapchat.
Yeah.
So I'm checking it, and I see Marley had to put up a bunch of snaps, and I'm like, all right, I'm looking through them.
Yeah, with the Roomba.
The Roomba.
Yeah.
That's on my list to talk about later.
Okay, well, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of you, so.
You know you want to, you know a Roomba.
I didn't.
You know that song?
No.
Oh, it's a song. It's like, for Roomba. Oh, yeah, a Roomba.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I want you. Oh, yeah, a Roomba.
I like it.
It's like a
you're really
Latino song.
Yeah, you're really ethnic when you sing that.
Hey, man.
You even look a little bit ethnic.
Is it racist to say, like, talk with a Latino accent?
No.
Okay.
Well, hey, is it racist if I talk with a English accent?
Well, you're white.
So? You can still be like against Englanders.
It's only racist if you're talking with an English accent, but the English accent that you're talking about is somebody that's black.
Right.
So a black Englishman. If you're doing the accent of a black Englishman,
then it's racist.
It can be the exact same accent because they sound the same.
Right. But yeah, I'm privileged.
Yeah, you are.
I know. Especially against Englanders.
What were we talking about before the Roomba? Oh, the Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Okay, so I sent her some flowers for Mother's Day. And I don't know where they get delivered, but they don't get delivered under your kitchen table. I could tell you that.
I know, yeah. They were on the kitchen table, though.
And she had a picture of flowers on the kitchen table instead. I came home and look what I saw. I'm like, the first thing, without any hesitation, I clicked it and I go,
no, you didn't.
No, you didn't. They had to have been sitting outside.
Yeah.
Because that's where they get delivered. And she's like, oh, I know. I just put that. And I'm like, you're false. That's fake news. You're falsely representing
Yeah.
that I'm a better husband than I am.
Right.
Like, I should have came
actually,
home and
I'm
got those
terrible.
flowers. I should have put them on the table, and then you should have had that genuine moment of shock. Instead, the flowers get delivered probably into a heap on the front step,
They're laying sideways.
and you're like, and they've been laying out there all day withering, and you're like, oh, I guess I got to put them in my own freaking vase and put them on their own freaking table. So really,
Like
it's a false representation
of your
of me.
yes,
really.
of your love.
Well, my children. I bought it for my children's behalf.
Oh, Anya, that makes sense.
Mother's Day present. She's not my mom.
Right. I bought Amy a Mother's Day present a couple days ago. She isn't going to hear this, obviously, for a week or so I could talk about it. She wanted one of those Fitbit Versas for some reason. I found one on eBay.
Sweet.
Got her one. But it's it's got like a I don't know. It's a woven band, but it's like they call it lilac. It's purple. That's her favorite color is purple. And then the square thing is purple. She'll love it.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm the best.
I got
That will be delivered to my mailbox. I'll be able to take it out of my mailbox and bring it inside.
Yeah.
So
I'm not. I got Marley Moore.
Oh, I didn't.
I got her an air fryer.
I've heard very good things.
People love those air fryers,
I
man.
used one time. Who brought it over? Somebody brought one over. It was still in the box, had never used it, and we threw some frozen things in it, and it worked very, very well.
Yeah.
But it's small.
I bought a pretty big one, the biggest one I could find.
This was the biggest one they make, and
They're not very big.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now they make these air fryers that are like a toaster oven air fryer.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I heard it was great.
Nope. Not for me.
No?
I had one. I went over to Chubbs' house, actually, and he was just taking frozen chicken wings and throwing them in the air fryer. And they come out, and they were like the best.
Really?
They were amazing. So
Oh.
I'm like, I got to get one of these things.
But you can only cook like 6 at a time.
I don't know. It's 5 quarts. That's pretty big.
Okay.
It's more than a gallon.
Well, right, but I would assume for chicken wings, you wouldn't want to stack them on top of each other.
I think, yeah, he was stacking them up.
Oh, really?
He was stacking them all over the place.
Really?
Yeah.
All over the pace?
All over the place.
All right. What's the next news? Bit of news.
I saw another trailer too.
What?
The Tolkien trailer.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Looks good. It comes out pretty soon.
Somebody's in that we know, right?
James Earl Jones.
He is?
No.
Is he Tolkien?
No.
Is Tolkien black?
Yeah, he was.
And Darth Vader?
Yeah. And Mufasa.
Oh.
Oh, it's out now, Tolkien. It's out in theaters right now.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Why was I not aware of any of this?
And it is getting a
really
47% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, no.
The guy I recognize.
What's this
the guy.
about? Just about him writing books?
It's about Tolkien's life
Okay.
and what inspired him to write Lord of the Rings, which is like
So-
World War II and a bunch of stuff, or World War One, I suppose.
Yeah, I was going to say, because he lived a long time ago, right?
I think like during World War One. That was like it was all based on his life when he was writing that book. So I don't know. Nicholas Hoult is Tolkien, J.R.R. Tolkien.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a lot of the people. Colm Meaney. I know that. I've heard of that guy.
I am not.
Apparently, it's not very good, but I thought the trailer looked cool, and I will definitely see it on HBO when it comes out. Not in theaters, probably.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to go in theaters to watch that, but it sounds cool. I have some what you're reading that I want to go over real quick. Before we get into any of your what's in the box or
I have a bunch of what I've been watching a bunch.
Yeah, I've got some what you're watching too, but I want to go over the reading stuff because you don't read anymore apparently. So I'll talk about what I'm going to read.
I don't have time for that.
So I read. Comic books are pretty quick.
Yeah, I know. I do,
especially when you're talking about single issues. I've subscribed to that Spider-Man, that new Spider-Man run that Chip Zdarsky's also doing.
Yes,
He's doing the Daredevil run that I've been reading, which is really great. And then the Spider-Man run, which is a miniseries, 6 issues, called Spider-Man Life Story.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes 60s,
I want to
70s,
catch up
80s.
on that. That sounds awesome.
So there's only 2 out, and the next one, it started in the 60s, the next one's in the 70s. He's still it's just like a continuation of his life, right? So he's married to MJ, and he's like really hurt because his friend died in Vietnam, and it's just like he's upset that he didn't go and do more in Vietnam. His wife, or like MJ's, or no, he's married to Gwen. MJ's married to Harry.
Okay.
He's married to Gwen. MJ's married to Harry, and Gwen works with it's a doctor. What do they call him? From Fantastic Four.
Reed Richards?
Reed Richards. Okay, she works with Reed Richards, and he works somewhere else. But he's like struggling with the fact that his friend died, and he could have done more, like, because Captain America was over in Vietnam, Giant Man went over there, and they were fighting, doing things, and he stayed back. Because the first issue in the 60s, he talks to Captain America, and Captain America says, hey, like, people need to be back here doing things too. Like, don't worry about it. You're very young. Like, I just don't think you have the ability to go over there.
So we had all those heroes in Vietnam.
That's in this story, yes. And
I'm not liking this story as much as the last one.
it's not.
That's very odd to think about.
It's kind of a side note, really. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, like that happens.
Like, just have Giant Man crushing the Viet Cong.
It shows a
for
it shows a
political
picture.
reasons.
It shows a picture of that, like in a newspaper clipping of him like flinging people. But there's just a lot of weird things that happen in this book that are not normal Spider-Man stories, but it's like following him as an actual superhero throughout his life, and just follows the things that he does. And he gets pretty angry and like out of character in this second issue.
Yeah.
It's very out of character for Peter Parker in this issue. It's weird to see him. It's interesting.
I'll check it out. I for some reason I never bump into World War II stuff like with Wolverine or Captain America.
Yeah.
But generally I don't think I like superhero comics when they are commenting or they're involved in real world events.
Yes.
It's not. I mean, other than I guess you could say
This story,
there's,
though,
like some intrigue around the Cold War and the spying and stuff like that.
This story, though, is, if you read like the foreword of it, you know, it literally says like this is based off of if Peter Parker lived in actual life. It's
Right.
It's showing him through the decades of living an actual life as a superhero, revolving around current like actual issues that had happened.
Right. So that's kind of the point.
So that's the point of it, and that's the basis of the story. And I think it's pretty neat when you think of it that way, I think. So I read that, and then I started reading. I had talked about it one other time about DC started this thing called Deceased.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it just came out. There's only 2 issues out, I think. Is that the one? Yes. There's only 2 issues out of... No, there's 1 issue out of Deceased. That's the only one I've read. And it's about like this plague, or it's like a zombie type book.
Right.
But it's all because of shit. Now I can't remember this guy's name. He's like Thanos in the DC world. Dr. Doom.
Yeah. No.
No.
Dr. Doom's Marvel.
Yep. It's oh my gosh, why can't I think of this main character?
You're so bad at this.
I am. I'm really bad at this. I'm like super bad at it. Anyway, he's trying to create like this anti-life serum, and he gets it from Cyborg. Basically, he captures Cyborg, takes him to off Earth to this like little room, and pulls something out of him. But he starts creating this anti-life serum, and is that what it's called? I think it's called that. Yeah, it's an anti-life serum or formula. And then it affects like the social network because it's part of Cyborg. Like they take it from Cyborg, but he's connected.
Like plugged in.
Yeah, he's plugged into everything.
Darkseid.
Darkseid. There you go. So Darkseid takes it from Cyborg. He already has like most parts of it. He gets it into his own body, but he can't withstand it. And then he gets into the core of this planet that they were on and blows up the core. But before he blows up this planet. So Darkseid essentially is gone. Is like dead. He killed himself. But this serum is in Cyborg, and he gets teleported back to Earth. And Batman's looking for him, but he put a tracker on him, so he knew he was off planet. And then he comes back on. But as soon as he comes back to Earth, he connects into like the social network, and it shows people like on their phones, and it immediately starts affecting them. And all it does is like it makes them like want to tear themselves apart, basically. And that's what starts happening, and it just shows that start happening. And then Batman obviously has a plan for this. So he sets off like an EMP in the Batcave in like Bruce Manor or Wayne Manor, sets off this EMP. It like shuts everything down. And he goes to look for Damian Wayne and another guy, and Alfred and somebody else. But he comes up there, and Alfred's like fending off Nightwing and Robin with a bat, and then Batman comes in because they're infected already. Alfred's not. And like the last scene of the book is him fighting them, but one of them is literally like tearing through his shoulder, and then the next guy's like biting into his neck. But he's like got a hold of him, and it looks like he's gonna flip him over, but they're already like tearing him up.
Right.
So I don't know where it's gonna go, but it was pretty neat. That was good to watch. And read. And the art's really, really good.
Cool. I'll check it out.
Last one. Oh, well, there's two more. So I started reading Swamp Thing all over again because Amy got it. You told Amy what to
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. So I started reading volume 1.
What did you get you?
Swamp Thing volume 1 and volume 2.
Sweet.
Yes. Soon, hopefully for Father's Day, I would get 3, 4, or 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Because there's 6 of them.
Yeah.
I've read the majority.
I just told her, I'm like, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm like, buy however many you want.
Yeah.
I'm like, just to get them in order.
Yes.
And I was a little bit on the fence because I told her a bunch of different books, but like a bunch of the ones that I was going to recommend aren't out yet. First off,
Oh yeah.
like I thought about White Knight, but I already have it. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, I know I have the Swamp Thing ones too, but it's kind of cool to have your own.
Yeah, for sure.
White Knight is not one that you need to have your own copy of. You can just borrow mine. You know what I mean? But the Swamp Thing ones. Plus, mine are all mismatched sets. And now those ones that you got are part of a set. There is a hardcover edition of the Swamp Thing Alan Moore saga, but it's not coming out till like next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang. That's fine. But I started reading that again, and the anatomy lesson part of it is just amazing.
Yeah. I need to start reading that back too.
It's like an achievement. I don't even know how to explain that.
I feel like I read that whole run in like a fever pitch. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
But I didn't absorb enough of it. Like it's
Yeah. So I've read all of that too. The first volume I know I've read before of yours that I had.
Did you remember it though?
Yeah. I mean, I've remembered bits and pieces throughout. You don't ever really retain all of it, but I've been reading it again. But I read through like the anatomy lesson part of it. And I remember Kevin Smith talking about how good it is. And maybe I have more of an appreciation for it now, later on. But my gosh, dude, like the way that guy wrote that story and how like the plant matter takes over him as a human, and then the human is basically gone, and but all of his memories are still alive, and he's living in these plants, and it's wild. Like I don't know how me as a human being could imagine this.
Yeah.
And put this together in words.
Have you watched the new trailer for something? They have a full trailer out now.
No, I have not.
Yeah, they do.
Oh my gosh, I need to watch that ASAP.
It's cool. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
They have a contest right now. If you were a member of the DC universe, which you're not, you would be privy to entering to go to the premiere in Hollywood.
I would like that.
Which is like May 17th, so I can't do it or even
Well,
enter.
no, but if you enter, I'll go for you.
Okay, I'll enter.
And I'll wear this Snarf Talk sweatshirt that I have on.
It looks cool. It's like horror. They're going with the horror take, which totally makes sense.
It makes sense.
I mean, Swamp Thing it's kind of a horror book.
Absolutely.
They've done it a lot of different ways, of course.
The early issues.
Yeah, especially the early stuff. I think like the Scott Snyder stuff after the New 52, it's not really horror there.
No.
It's good. It's super good.
I've read bits and pieces
They're
of that. They're
re-releasing that as in a new hardcover trade too.
Good. I'll buy that. So the last thing I read was a first issue. There is 4 of these out right now out of 6 or 8, I think, total. And I finally got to it. It was Batman Who Laughs.
Oh yeah, that was the one I was gonna tell her to get you.
Okay.
But
And
it
it's
doesn't
not
come
all
out till October.
Yeah, the whole thing.
The whole run.
Yeah,
because I'm like, at this point, wait till the whole trade comes out.
I read the very first issue. Maybe I will wait, but that first issue has really piqued my interest because
There's got to be more than one issue out at this point.
there's 4.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, maybe I will hold off until the other 4 or 5, whatever is left, come out.
Maybe I will go buy them
Because
single issues.
that first issue it seems like a good story. It's something I've never heard of before. The main thing here is
Don't tell me because I don't want to spoil anything.
nothing.
No.
Okay. Well, it's the first issue definitely has me wondering how in the world this story plays out.
Yeah.
Like it's
Don't tell me more.
it's good.
I want to be completely shocked.
And again, the art here, like all of these artists are just on a different level. I don't know how they do it. People can look at this stuff and think, oh yeah, it is, comic booky or it's like lesser art. I would argue that because sequential art, to do it correctly, is really hard. And these people make it look like so good nowadays. And none of this stuff is digitally drawn.
Right.
I think digital art is a little bit different.
Definitely.
But all of this hand-drawn stuff is just stupid good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited about checking that out.
Yeah, I would suggest it. Just based off of the first one, yes, absolutely. Good story. What are you watching, Chris?
Well, actually, I got one more.
Oh, what are you...
Kind of news. It's not what I'm watching.
Newsing.
I forgot
Chris?
they were doing this. I think maybe we talked about it, but I was reading some articles that came out on this new Dune show that they're making.
It's a movie, right?
Movie
Yeah.
they're making, yes.
Uh-huh. That
I don't know anything about it except the guy that made...
like Villanueva or Villanueva.
Yeah, he made it The Arrival.
And he did
David something.
Jupiter Ascending.
Which I liked, actually.
I never watched it.
Got terrible reviews, but Jupiter Ascending, yeah, but I'm so excited.
Really?
Like, I don't know.
They have everyone cast in this movie.
I don't know if I've expressed how much I love Dune.
Oh, I completely agree. This is another thing that you got me into.
I'm obsessed with Dune.
I only read the first book. I've always wanted to read more than the first, even though a lot of people have said it's not worth it.
Yeah, it totally is.
It is?
I've read not all of them because I think I read all of Frank Herbert's. So there's 3, right?
Yeah, I heard.
But then
after
his son read a couple. But I've not heard that they're bad.
I've heard that they are just lesser than.
Probably, but I think they're based off of his scripts and stuff.
Okay.
I wasn't like everybody loves the David Bowie movie, or is it David Lynch? Movie?
David Lynch. David Bowie was in
Labyrinth
other stuff. Yeah.
Wasn't David Bowie in that movie though?
I don't think so.
I
no.
think he was.
If he was, I never noticed him.
Yeah, he probably wasn't.
I don't remember all of that movie. I only saw it one time, and I don't remember being floored by it.
I don't remember liking that movie, but then when they did the series on Sci-Fi,
I never saw that. And I know it's completely different than the movie, though.
Yeah, the movie was like a real... You can't... that's why I'm confused. I don't know how they're going to do it in a movie. It's so deep.
It's wild.
They obviously have to be shooting for a trilogy here. I just hope it takes hold and they make it happen, because they did that with Ender's Game, which is another one of my favorite book series.
Okay.
And the first one failed, and they never made any more.
Right.
Even with Harrison Ford. And I actually thought the movie was quite good, Ender's Game. But Dune's on a whole nother level. I mean, that for me is like Star Wars-esque. It's like that high on my list.
100% agree. And the only thing I've ever really done with Dune is read the book.
And it's so hard. That's why the show, it translates so much better to a TV show.
Does it?
Because it's so deep. I don't know why you'd even screw with a movie, to be honest.
Especially in the world of streaming now.
Why
Netflix,
why does anybody make a movie?
I don't know. Really, I don't.
Why don't they just make TV shows and then release them in theaters. I always said this about Game of Thrones. I'm like, why are they not releasing these episodes in theaters?
Yeah, they should.
They already have them. Okay. So just they're play for 1 week.
Yeah.
It would have been big for the first Game of Thrones. And then when everybody's like, what? Like for this season.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what? Come on, guys. So after like the third, but could you imagine if the long night, again, I said it wasn't great, but people were amped about it, right?
Right.
Everybody went to the theaters.
Yeah, everybody would have went to see. I would have.
And then if
see
it
that
played
in theaters
all week,
sure.
yeah. So I don't understand, but whatever. I'm excited. I got duped in because I started like looking for the trailer, which isn't out because the movie doesn't come out till 2020 next year.
Oh, really?
And there's no trailer, but there's a bunch of fake trailers on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And
so you just started watching fake trailers?
Yeah, and I got totally duped by one of them. And I'm like, there's no way this is the trailer. And it wasn't.
Yeah. Was it bad?
Yeah.
I mean, it had to have been really bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
But
it piqued my interest, which set me on my path for what I'm doing for the rest of spring planting season, because the narration for the trailer was apparently from the audiobook.
Oh, and you're going to listen to the audiobook.
Baron Harkonnen?
Baron Zemo?
No.
Yeah, Harkonnen.
Harkonnen.
That's how I've pronounced it.
And I'm like, oh, I'm totally buying that audiobook like tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You could sit and listen to that
all
day.
As amazing as it is to read, I think it would be even better as an audiobook.
And it's probably like 18 hours worth of.
I don't know. What's not that long of a book?
It's like 700 pages.
But I listened to all or 3 of the Game of Thrones books on audiobook, which I highly recommend.
Really?
Because
who reads those?
They this like older English actor, but he has different voices for every character.
That's talent.
And it makes it so much easier to understand.
Okay.
Because you can identify the character by the voices, and it's super well done.
So here's a little bit of a tangent.
Acted audiobooks.
Yeah. And that's quality. I think a lot of those people think of themselves as a voice actor.
They are voice actors. I mean, they're hired voice actors that do these books.
But the people that get hired to do voiceover, that's a talent.
Oh, big time.
To be able to read through a script or whatever you're given and then like pronounce words correctly, because a lot of times you find words that you don't know what they are.
Especially in Dune.
So exactly. So you have to find out if that's the right pronunciation or whatnot. And a guy that I watch on YouTube, he's got a channel called Booth Junkies. And the only reason I've watched him is all because of microphone stuff, like watching about microphone reviews. But he does, his name's Mike Delgadio. And he is a voiceover guy. He does all voiceover stuff. And he like sells himself out as like a contractor basically. And he was showing like his style of doing things or like how he does voiceover. And they'll send him a script. He has to have it like done in 48 hours, let's say. So they'll send it to him. He reads through it once, then he reads through it again and picks out words that he doesn't really recognize or needs to know the definition of and the pronunciation. He'll find that stuff, and then he starts recording himself. But he does a certain type of recording, and he pauses at certain times. Then he does his own editing and sends it in, which they'll do more editing. But even so, it's like very, very in depth and quite a lot of work for like a small reading, and it might take him 4 hours to do this reading.
Probably doesn't pay very well.
Before he gets it the way he wants it to sound and how it to flow and everything. Like, man, I was like, that looks like a nightmare. As much as I like recording and doing this stuff, because I do love it now, I don't see myself ever being able to do something like that.
Well, when we build our podcast studio, we'll have all the capability of all that.
Right, we would, because he has an actual like recording booth.
People build podcast studios now, and there's a lot of people that will do like side work, voice acting, stuff like that, and they'll rent that studio space. And
right, yeah. The number one thing that I want to get rid of is echo.
Yeah,
there's always some echo.
We just need a Adobe Audition.
Right. Or maybe just some eggshell foam on the wall.
So if you're listening to this podcast and you enjoy science fiction,
yeah,
like not comic book movies.
And
if you
can
enjoy
read.
science fiction, like I don't even know how to. What is like Dune?
It's like it's a space saga.
Yeah.
It's a
If you like something that's more in depth than Star Wars and more complicated and less adventure-y, but more political.
Yeah,
if you like
it's a political
sci-fi
space story.
political drama.
It's almost like Game of Thrones, Star Wars.
It's like it is. It's like Game of Thrones. It's
Star Wars in space, or Game of Thrones and Star Wars mixed together in a different world.
It's not very Star Warsy though. It's
just
like
because it's in space and
it's
they do
very
fly
very
around.
Game of Thronesy.
Yeah,
Or it's very much like that with less sex and less beheading.
right. And it's not British at all.
Right. So if you like that, you got the ticking clock starts now. You got like a year to read the books before the movie comes out. So
Yeah, and it's a long book, but at least get through the first one and that's all I've ever read. I should read the second
really
one.
all you need to read. That's the main
Is the first
story.
one, yeah. And maybe, honestly, I need to read it again. If I wanted to read like the second and third, I feel like I should read the first one over again. Because it's been a little while. Did I ever give that back to you?
No,
I feel like I feel like I never did. But
that's a first edition, man. So
no, I think I did.
first edition autographed by Frank Herbert.
No, it wasn't. No, it certainly was not.
All right. I got a bunch of what you're watching, but the bulk of it is going to take a long time. So what are we on at time-wise?
Let me look. Hang on. We are at 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Okay, we got some time.
Yeah.
So quickly, I watched Aquaman. After your big review, I watched it.
Okay. Oh, boy.
I tried to watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway, for three times.
3 times.
In the same day. And I fell asleep all 3 times. I had a difficult time with the old Aquaman.
This is sad, Chris.
I wasn't in the headspace to watch it, though.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to try again. It wasn't catching me on the right day.
And it's always different for those type of movies, I think, in theaters.
Yeah, this would have been a good theater movie. This was not working out for me on the home TV setup.
Yeah. I watched it the other day with Amy because she had never seen it. She really enjoyed it. And it was different for me watching it at home as it was in the theaters. I got a little bit bored and fell asleep, but that's also because I have seen it before. So
Yeah.
but it wasn't something that I felt like I needed to really watch all over again. That I did watch it, but I was like napping in and out of it. But I do remember certain parts I wanted to be awake for because there are some really good parts. I like the character of Aquaman. I like the way Jason Momoa does him. Sometimes it's a little over the top, like dude-ish. You know what I mean? Like, not our friend dude, but like, I should say bro-ish.
Yeah.
But I don't think that takes away much from him.
I watched a good majority of the first half. I'm going to be honest, I found very little to cling to. I did like Black Manta quite a bit.
Yeah. Did you see him create his suit and everything?
Yeah. I saw all that. We'll see. I got to give it more time. I got to try it again.
You need to watch the movie, yes.
Yeah, I need to really watch it. Been catching up on Barry.
I haven't even started that yet. I need
Really good episode last week. Or that would have been 2 weeks ago.
Is this the second season?
Second season, yeah. So I think this was the 5th episode. It was really good. It's a good show, man. It's a good show.
So is it funny or is it deep or is it like a dark comedy?
Yes.
Okay.
Funny.
So it's got everything you want.
Deep,
in it.
dark, violent, crazy. Awesome.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
very good. I mean, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's a good watch.
Right. It's probably better than a couple of the shows that I've been watching.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
continue.
You can do yours. I got my big closer on the What You're Watching segment, so we'll hold that.
Is that all you got left? Is
Yeah.
your big closer?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So I started the show Camping. You had talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's another HBO show. It's got David Tennant in it. He's a seller for me, basically.
Oh my God, I
across
totally
the
forgot
board.
he was in that.
Yeah. David Tennant is one of the main characters.
He's actually pretty good in that.
Yeah, he's like the nerdy dad.
Yeah.
You know, and
But you haven't watched it all yet.
not yet. No.
He's got a good.
I haven't
he's
finished.
good in it.
I haven't finished the first season. Is there 2 seasons or just one?
No, just one.
Okay. I finished episode 4 last night.
Yeah, there's not many more. I think there's only like 6 or 8 episodes.
There's 6, I believe. 5, 6. No, 8. Because no, there's 8. So
and they're only half hour, right?
yes. I fell asleep the first time I was watching. I watched the first 3 and I fell asleep like right at the end of 3 and it played through the rest of the season. You know, so when I went back to it, it showed all of them played. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, that happens to me every night.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, exactly, me too. So I had to figure out which episode I was on, but I watched 4 last night. That one was much better, I feel like, than even the first 3, because I was greatly annoyed at Jennifer Garner's character.
That will not stop, by the way.
And that is her character. It's written that way. They want her to be that annoying.
She plays it perfect.
She plays it great. The problem is
it's a very unlikable character.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's like
this is full of unlikable characters. There is nary a likable character to find in that show.
David Tennant's the only one that I really like, just because he doesn't speak most of the time.
Right.
He's very quiet. He kind of does his own thing, but he also lets his wife be a babbling idiot about everything. You know, she talks about how she had a hysterectomy and now she's basically dead.
Right.
And but there are, like, as I talk about the flaws of these characters and you go around the circle of all these characters and I talk about the flaws, I'll laugh about it. And I caught myself last night when I was explaining it to Amy. Like, I was like, oh, well, she's crazy because she came and she's like the wild one. And that's, what's that chick's name? Because she's ridiculous. Everything she's ever in, she's ridiculous. She's in
Juliette
Lewis, yes.
Oh.
I've always thought that she was like clinically insane or something was wrong with her because she just is weird.
She plays herself in all these.
In everything.
I don't know what she's like in real life, obviously, but
I'm pretty
she's
sure
the same
she's like
character
that.
and everything.
Yeah. She's like the crazy wild one that drinks and has drugs with her all the time. And then, you know, they're just like every character as I went through them, I caught myself laughing about it when I was explaining it to Amy. And I was like, like that's where they get you right there. Like each character on its own is annoying, but when you put them all together in the show, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's not great. It's nothing that I would even tell everybody, like, go out right now and watch it. But if you are bored or you don't have anything else to watch, I think it's worth the first 4 episodes at least. I
don't know if I'd go that far, but to the point where I don't even remember any of that show, basically. And I watched the whole season, like, literally 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So, but I do remember telling you, I'm like, I don't like this show at all, but I can't stop. I need to watch it.
And what did I text you the other day?
Yeah,
I was like,
the same thing.
I texted Chris and I was like, I said, I'm watching the show Camping and I don't know if I'm like overly annoyed to where I can't watch this anymore or I like it.
Yeah.
Then
it rides that line for sure.
That's where it's at for me still.
And I did the same thing. I only watched it because of David Tennant.
Yeah. And so when I saw the name of it, it's like I knew you had said something about it. I read about it and saw that David Tennant was in it. And I was like, okay, well, then I have to watch this. So that's one of them. Then I watched Ocean's 8.
Oh, I have not, and I probably will never watch that.
Never watch it.
First of all, I heard it's terrible, but
it's so slow. Sandra Bullock's okay, but it's just not good.
Not good.
It's not good. It takes super long for him to do anything.
So just taking a premise of a movie and the entire premise of replace all male characters with female characters, you're saying that doesn't work?
No, it doesn't work. Well, in some situations. And you know what I was going to say before I even put this out there? I was like, this is going to invoke you to say, oh, sexist.
Yeah.
You're a sexist. Because you say it.
No, this episode. Is one of the rare ones where I won't say that, because the only purpose of this movie being made, existing, or anything was to be like, look at all these boy movie. Yeah. Let's make it a girl movie. Yes. That's the only reason it exists.
So Sandra Bullock's character is the sister of one of the guys in Oceans 11, 12, 13, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's George Clooney, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's his character. She's his sister.
I don't think I've ever watched any of them other than the first Ocean's movie.
I liked them. They're good. They're like heisty movies. You know,
Yeah.
they're fine. This one's not good.
I think that that's a perfect example that what we've talked about before, and I was thinking about this a little bit today on this whole female drive in the movies to get more representation, which, you know, again, it's fine. But I've said before, and I'll say it again, it's got to be story driven. Like, you won't really notice gender if the story's good.
Yeah, you've said that. You said that about Rogue One.
And I'm going to say it again about another show. It's Game of Thrones.
Oh, right.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm not saying that Game of Thrones has been the friendliest show to women, but most of the strong characters are women.
They've came through that.
Now I'm saying, not early on, but now most of the strong characters are women. Most of the women are the only characters with actual like substance or like that are good. Most of them, except for Cersei, are all like good. But you don't even notice. You wouldn't even. It doesn't cross your mind when Arya Stark kills a bunch of dudes and then is the one that kills the Night King. You don't go, "Oh, you're just doing that because she's a woman." You don't even think about it.
No, not a single person does think about it because
the story's good
and they've built her character up to do that.
And that's what we need more of, not Ocean's 8.
Right. Because, like I said, it's not good. Don't waste your time. The next one.
It's not even like a progression forward for women in representation to be like, we're going to make a movie solely based on the fact that it's now a woman instead of a man. Like they did that with recently. I'm sure it failed miserably, but they remade What Women Want, that Mel Gibson movie.
Right. I never watched that. It's
but with a woman, and I'm like,
okay, what men want.
You know, the only reason they're doing that, and maybe that's different because that's a comedy, and it would probably get some people out of the theaters. But I'm like,
did it come out already?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh well,
if it hasn't, whatever, it'll fail.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the only reason they're making that movie is because they go, hey, we got that old property, let's flip the script on it.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe that's a bad example because actually that's kind of a natural progression to make a movie called What Women Want and then What Men Want.
I see that. I see what you mean, but either way, it's forcing the topic of putting a woman in the lead role. Nothing is wrong with having a woman in the lead role, but like you said, if the story's good, you don't even pay attention to who the lead is.
Right.
It doesn't matter. My next one that I had was the newest Predator movie.
Okay.
I'm a huge Predator fan. I always have been. I like Predator. I think he's awesome. The very first Predator is obviously the best one. But Predator vs. Aliens wasn't bad. I liked that. This Predator, not good.
I think you've talked about this before.
I've probably brought it up, but I've never seen it before.
Oh, okay.
I was excited for it to come out because
who's in it?
Shane Black wrote it.
Oh, love Shane Black.
He's in the first one.
Yeah,
wrote the first one. Shane Black's written a lot of good movies. I don't know what the hell he did with this one though.
Like Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
Like what's the other Robert Downey Jr. movie which is amazing? Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang's really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, Predator.
And like a bajillion other movies, by the way. It's
not
like one of the most prolific screenwriters.
Not good. I don't know why he had to change things up. I don't know why he brought in these random like hybrid predators. I don't know why it was a predator fight film. I don't know why kids were involved. And they try to make it almost like a Suicide Squad-esque type movie where they bring in these bad guys that have been like they've worked for the government, but then they did something wrong, and then the government takes them in and they like put them in this camp, but it's for like special agents or special forces guys, and then they group them together to fight these predators. It is dumb. It hurt me to watch it.
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't even think to watch it. Like I've seen the original Predator. I liked it. It's a classic.
Yeah.
I never have watched another one, and if one comes out, I would never think to watch
And see,
it.
I've always
Even
been,
on HBO, I wouldn't. I'd be
I was
like,
always
I'd
really
scroll
big.
past.
I was always really big into the Aliens and Predator. Like I was always really big into it when I was a kid. Maybe I'm falling out of that. Like
The
love
Aliens
for those.
movie is great, but I haven't watched the two newest ones of those either. So
Gosh,
I never even watched Prometheus.
It really. Oh, you haven't?
Nope.
I liked Prometheus.
I need to watch it.
Got ragged on, but I liked it a lot. Anyway, Predator, not good. It gets me angry even talking about it because I wanted it to be good because I think they're fun movies. Oh boy, but it is a shit show of a movie. Like it's not good. It just pisses me off. It really pisses me off because it should be much better. And it's because Shane Black is the writer of it. That's what bugs the crap out of me. Like, dude, you've had that property for a long time. Do it right. Like do it justice. You know, other people have taken it over and written some crappy movies. You know, you can do it good. And he didn't.
No.
He like wrote something just to get paid for it, I feel like. And
So hard pass on the new Predator movie.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
The blood is boiling over
Yeah,
there.
it pisses me off.
You should see him right now.
Gosh, it pisses me off.
He's just a little ball of anger.
I'm gonna chew through your
Looks
desk.
like the Inside Out guy.
Yeah. Yeah, anger.
Yeah.
Right.
Lewis.
All right. So you're big time what you're watching, I'm going to say is Doom Patrol.
That's right, because I teased it on the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I finally buckled down.
None of you probably know that he teased it on the last episode because apparently nobody went and saw Endgame. I had 2 people today tell me they didn't go see Endgame, so therefore they can't listen to.
I told you that was going to happen.
You did, but
by the way,
I just figured that with $2.4 billion worth of money coming in, that everybody has seen this movie.
Well, speaking of the 2 points on that, dude was supposed to be here for the review, didn't show up. Well, actually, that's not true.
That didn't. I screwed the first.
Yeah, actually, that's
part
more
of
your
it.
fault.
Yeah, that's
dude. We have an empty chair sitting here right now with the microphone set up, pointing to a barren wasteland of a chair.
Yep.
Who's supposed to be in that chair?
Dude.
Dude's supposed to be in that chair.
Yeah, the dude.
But he never showed up.
And I'm gonna take a picture of it, and we're gonna put it on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna text it to him, even though he's probably sleeping right now. So we could just like proceed on pretending like dude's there.
Oh, hey, dude. Glad you could join us. Like, I'm really glad you came.
So anyway, I finally buckled down and bought the DC Unlimited app. My whole plan, if you remember correctly, was to wait for the entire series of Doom Patrol to finish because it's a week by week series.
Yeah.
And then I was going to get the 1 month free trial and then watch it.
Right.
It turns out it's only a 7-day free trial.
Oh,
And
like
I'm like-
HBO. HBO does the same thing.
And I'm like, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to watch this. And then I'm like, well, and Swamp Thing's coming out anyway, right? So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I'll just subscribe to it for a month. And then I realized that's way cheaper if you just pay the annual subscription.
Is
it? Yeah. It's like $70 for the year.
Okay.
And so anyway, I signed up, started watching Doom Patrol. And
yeah, this gets me excited. I want to know what about.
howdy, is this you've never seen anything like it.
Really?
It is the weirdest, craziest, off the rails, crazy show. I don't even know how it exists.
Wow.
It's like Grant Morrison.
So, I know it's Grant Morrison. I know he wrote the comic book.
And I've read the book, The Doom Patrol.
See, I haven't read
of it.
much of it.
Not all of it, but I've read most of Grant Morrison's run from the early 90s, or was it the 80s or early 90s? I have a bunch of them. It's been so long since I've read them. I honestly remember literally nothing about it.
Okay.
For the most part. It's super crazy. I remember like bits and pieces. Like they have a character called Danny. I think it's Danny the Street, which is a sentient street, is one of the characters.
What?
It's a sentient street.
It's an actual street.
Correct.
Okay.
Is one of the characters. There's so many crazy characters. We've talked about Grant Morrison before. He is the craziest human being ever. He's a prolific writer.
Yeah, he is.
He's written normal stuff too, like All-Star Superman, but he's written crazy stuff like.
But even in All-Star Superman, he just changes things so much.
Yeah,
like he's just a wild guy.
Yeah, but like he's written crazy stuff like The Invisibles. Happy's pretty crazy. Happy the show, which I've talked about before, is great.
Yeah,
and crazy and manic, just like you would expect Grant Morrison to be. This is weird and crazy, like you would expect Grant Morrison to be. Further than that, okay, so I've watched 4 or 5 episodes. I'm 4 or 5 episodes in.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about the show because I don't think spoilers matter at all. It's so crazy that they just don't matter.
Okay. How many episodes are there?
I think there's like 9 or 10.
Okay.
I got a little ways to go. I don't think the last one's actually dropped yet. First thing I'll say is I was a little concerned early on looking at trailers and stuff about budget because it looks like low budget.
It does look low budget, yeah.
And it is to an extent. I mean, I say that it's low budget, but there's obviously effects that are probably very expensive and stuff like that. But overall, it's done pretty low budget. But
is it kind of like a WB type show?
Yes, but even lower budget than that, maybe.
You think so?
Yeah, I think yes, but it's in that vein.
Okay.
But not as good of effects. But it doesn't bother you at all because it almost seems perfect that it exists as this almost like looking like a B movie.
Oh.
You know what I mean by a B movie? Like
yes.
those like rubber face monster movies from the...
Oh, wait, not the Jerry Seinfeld.
Not the Jerry Seinfeld B movie.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Did you really think that's what
No.
Okay.
Gosh. Why do you think I'm serious?
No, it almost looks like that, but it's totally fine because they shoot it in a way that I know that the limitations of the budget made it look like that, but they were like, okay, well
let's use it. Yeah.
Like Robot Man is one of the main characters.
Yeah.
And it is
Brendan
Fraser. Okay, so I need to talk about him a little bit.
Okay.
But obviously the costume that he's wearing is ridiculous.
Right.
Like it looks like plastic, and it doesn't move. And his voice, he narrates the voice of it, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's I don't think he's the actual actor. I don't think he's actually
talking, yeah.
But they do it in like a tinny, like he's inside the ride. It's weird. But Robot Man is actually just his brain transplanted into this robot body.
Okay. But it sounds like they make it sound like someone's like speaking through a big metal
like tinny,
helmet.
like almost echoey, tinny. Yeah. It's almost annoying. That's probably the most annoying thing about it.
Oh.
But Brendan Fraser, his voice acting, I feel like is really good. First of all, this is like nonstop F-bombs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's nonstop. I think the most said line is Brendan Fraser as Robot Man going, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" Like nonstop. It's crazy.
Really?
So it's super confusing. First off, very confusing. The first 2 episodes are tough to get through. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, see, that's discouraging when you say the first 2, I feel like need to be the most engaging.
They're tough to get through because you have no idea what's going on. They're introducing a bunch of characters. It's kind of slow and it's low budget and you notice. But once you stop giving a shit and you start noticing less, that's not a big deal. Once you start to get into the 3rd, 4th episode, I just want to watch it because it's so crazy.
Really?
But I wish that it's a little slower than I would like because like 4 or 5 episodes in, you're still like, they're not superheroes, right? The whole idea behind Doom Patrol is it's this collection of freaks basically that were in horrible accidents for the most part. And they were kind of collected by this guy called the Chief, which is played by Timothy Dalton. He does a really good job at it.
Okay.
And he basically finds a way to bring them back to life. And he has this kind of house, kind of like Xavier's mansion that they live in.
Right.
But the idea behind it all is like they all should have, well, actually I was going to bring that up, but they all should have died and they'd be better off if they died. And they're all pretty miserable. And
they're miserable in their own existence.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is just like Umbrella Academy. It's better than Umbrella Academy. That's much less low budget than Umbrella Academy and doesn't look as good. but like it's far more interesting to me than Umbrella Academy. Way crazier.
Yeah, I mean, by the way you're acting, it has to be.
Every
crazier.
episode's a little bit different. It's something Patrol. So like the last one I watched was Paw Patrol. The one before that was Cult Patrol. The one before that was something else Patrol. So I mean,
so are they chasing after something, or are they what are they doing?
it's kind of a week by week storyline, but with an overarching plot.
Okay.
So
so they are eventually going after someone, or
well, what happens is whatever after like the first episode, the chief, who's Timothy Dalton, who's kind of like their father almost, disappears. So they're like trying to find him, but they're stumbling into all these other things, and they're not like a superhero team yet.
Right.
They're just like they don't really even
they just like
understand or know their
live with
powers.
each other, basically.
So the first 2 episodes is a lot of origin bullshit on all the characters.
Yep.
It's pretty uninteresting for the most part. But Brendan Fraser is Robot Man, as I said. And like, where has this guy been, first off?
Yeah, he's making a comeback. He got blackballed from Hollywood, basically.
Okay, so he starts like in this, and his backstory is he's a race car driver. So he's not Robot Man in the first episode. And he's like super fat. Like he's fat. And I start looking up and I'm like, did he gain a bunch of weight for this movie? No, he's been fat for like 10 years. Like really? Fat as fuck.
I mean, I've seen him in some interviews. He didn't look that big.
He doesn't look good. He's got a huge gut, and like, not saying I don't, I do too.
Yeah,
but he's got a huge gut. Like he just doesn't look good. But then you start thinking back in like in the 90s, like in
Tarzan,
he was fit,
you know, Mummy.
Yeah, he was the Mummy. He was like a big time celebrity. And then I started reading through the list of credits. Of course, I've seen every one of those movies.
Right.
He was a huge star, movie
He was
star.
absolutely huge. You know what set him off? Encino Man.
Yeah, that was his first movie.
Yeah.
And he was great in it.
And it was awesome. Yeah.
And then he just went away. Like in the early 2000s, he had some misfires.
What killed him was the Looney Tunes movie.
There was a bunch of them.
And then
there's way more than that.
And then like Dudley Do-Right,
Monkey Bone.
Monkey Bone.
There was a couple even after that. But there was some in there that I forgot about. There were like dramas that he was in the 90s that were really good.
Yeah, he did quite a few. But what happened
Blast
was...
from the Past. Remember
so
that movie?
what I read about, and I've seen interviews with him, is that he came out and talked about how he was like sexually harassed or sexually molested.
I think that was recently though. Wasn't
No, it happened years ago.
Okay.
But he's just now talking about it. But he came out and was he like told agents about the person that did this to him. Like they did it to him. He told people like, that's not right. You can't do that to me. And, you know, even though I'm a man, like it's just something you don't do. And, you know, he was the one that was being, I don't know if it was molested or harassed, whatever it was. And he came out and told people about it, and they basically said, okay, well, you're done, bud.
And he got blackballed.
And he got completely blackballed. And if you, I don't remember what interview it was, but it was on a pretty big podcast. Not quite like Joe Rogan level, but close. I'm trying to remember what it was. But anyway, he talked about it now, and he's like, yeah. He's like, honestly, he's like, I can't say for sure that that's what happened. He said, but from that moment on, I never got anything.
That's weird.
Like I got no jobs.
He's a really good actor.
My agent dropped me. He's like, I couldn't get a hold of
Could
people.
have been the way he looked. Because he gained a ton of weight.
Well, I mean, when he was done, yeah. After years, he's like, he got super depressed, and then he figured, and then I think he went through a divorce too.
He's like unrecognizable almost now.
And then he just started like doing and then he figured, he's like, I'm done with this and I'm going to do my own thing.
Well, he probably has tons of money. I mean,
right. Yeah, I'm sure he does.
So he probably didn't really care.
He's been doing his own thing for a long time, and now finally he decided to get back into acting.
Apparently he's been in a bunch of, like, over the last however many years, a bunch of indie movies that were really good. He's got good reviews. He's been in some TV shows. So he's been around. I mean, I guess, you know, stuff. But anyway, he's really good in this. He's the voice of Robot Man. But it's kind of the character. Maybe that's one of the more annoying characters because he's just so like confused all the time. But anyway, the other character, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's the guy with the bandages.
Mr. Invisible or Mr. Nobody?
No, that's the villain. We'll get to him.
Oh.
I don't remember his name, but he hasn't really even by episode 5 now. Well, I won't talk about him more, but he's interesting. There's like an old like 50s actress who's Elastigirl or Elastic Woman, and she's stretchy. All of them really are like,
and well, she's stretchy, so
they're all though like not in control of their powers at this point.
Okay,
and I think they're pretty much that whole first season is going to be kind of them finding control,
coming
of their
of
powers.
age story.
Yeah. So, but it's just.
Who's the young girl that's like black eye makeup, black hair?
Yeah. Okay. So that's Jane, and she's an amazing actress. She plays, her character is 67 different multiple personalities, and they each have their own superpower.
Oh my gosh!
So one of her, and she doesn't control them at all. So anyone can come out at any time.
Out at all the time.
So one can come out that can teleport them. One can come out that turns into a huge fire person. One turns out.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
that's so cool.
It is really that she's a cool character.
You don't gather any of that from any of the trailers I've ever seen.
You don't get anything about this show until you watch it.
You don't.
So the main villain is Alan Tudyk, and he's it's Mr. Nowhere, Nobody, or something like that.
Yeah,
he is the villain,
and his great
power. It's so weird. Okay, he is the omniscient narrator of the whole show.
Okay.
But that is his power. So him omnisciently narrating the show is his power that actually affects the show.
Whoa.
It's super heady, man. It's really crazy.
So
and he's great in it.
So he's basically telling them what to do all the time then.
And sometimes he's just narrating, and the things that he narrates happen in the show like a narrator would, like an omniscient narrator.
Yeah.
Okay. But the things he's saying are also making those things happen. And he knows all past, present, and future. He's omniscient.
That's like impossible to
and
beat.
He doesn't exist in this reality or any reality. He exists in all realities because he is omniscient.
Wow.
It's weird and wild. And this is so. It was probably 4 episodes in when it started to get interesting. But even like, for example, the second episode is they all go out to this town and it gets swallowed up by this Mr. Nobody into some other dimension, right? And all that's left of this entire town it's in rubble. They've all got sucked into this vortex.
Yeah.
Is a donkey.
Okay.
So a part of the episode is them just chasing around this donkey, right?
Burrow.
Yeah, so they find this donkey, and then the donkey just spits out one of the characters. And then they realize that the donkey is the portal to this other dimension. So they have to go down the donkey's throat into this other dimension.
This is weird.
And then
you've sold it for me already though, because I'm going.
And then they find pictures of this donkey in the 1940s in Paraguay, where a Nazi scientist had moved and started a clinic giving villains superpowers. So a normal person could go there, pay him, and he would give them superpowers. That's how Mr. Nowhere got his superpowers in the first place. Wow. So they go there, and they get in this Nazi is still alive, being run in a machine by this German guy in lederhosen with a crank, with this army of these other Germans in lederhosens, and it's like a clinic.
Yeah,
and they're there like trying to, discern what powers they're going to purchase. It's crazy.
It's out there, obviously.
It's out there, man. Oh, and then the other main character that comes in about episode 2 or 3, which blows my mind, is Cyborg.
Right, I knew Cyborg's in it. Yeah,
Cyborg was never in Doom Patrol. But he is straight up Cyborg, like he's a member of the Justice League. Like they talk about Batman and Superman. They reference the movie universe.
Oh, wow.
But Cyborg is like real low budget. Obviously, looks nothing like he does in the...
Yeah.
In this last episode, he turns his hand into a gun, and that's all CGI, and it looks pretty cool.
Okay.
So there's using some CGI more as it goes along. But he's got like just a facial prosthetic, which looks like a piece of plastic
stuck to his face.
But... He's pretty good, and it's Cyborg. I mean, they talk about Star Labs, and it's the same origin and everything. So in this iteration, he's like the leader of the Doom Patrol because he's the one. He's like a superhero. Everybody knows him as a superhero. Like people are stopping in the street, like, "Hey, dude, you're Cyborg. Can I get a picture?"
That's crazy. There was an article that I had just seen about like why Cyborg in the Doom Patrol has ruined him in the Justice League or something, or in DC.
He's way better in Doom Patrol.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
He didn't have much in Justice League.
No, it was kind of a like throwaway character, I think.
He's much more interesting in this. It's a cool it's worth, okay. Your average person's not going to like this show at all. Like, you're not going to like this show probably unless you're really into weird stuff, or like if you're really into comic books or things like that. It's hard for me to sit there and say, because just of the way this show is, I can't sit there and say you're going to enjoy it automatically. You'll enjoy it. So you'll definitely enjoy it. But most of our listeners will not enjoy it.
So,
but it's worth watching just for the crazy. And who knows? Maybe I'm only 5 episodes in, and it gets better every episode. I'll say that for sure, without a doubt.
Okay. So this CBR, like I'm on CBR.com, comic book resource. So this is probably talking about an episode that you haven't seen yet. But it says Doom Patrol's butt fetish just got even weirder.
It's a weird show, man.
And it says Doom Patrol has had a few weird butt fetish moments, but Cyborg's prison break takes it to a whole new level.
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay. Well, apparently it's going to have to do with a butt.
They squeezed down the throat of a donkey.
Yeah, so I guess it
another
won't.
Universe.
It shouldn't surprise you.
This last episode,
for anything.
This one's pretty good, actually. They have a character that's kind of a John Constantine-esque character.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the comics. I can't remember his name. But he comes because there's a cult. I don't know if I want to spoil this because it's crazy. But anyway, this is a good episode. And it's about this crazy cult that has a prophecy that if they read this book, the end of the world comes. And there's a guy called the de-atomizer or something, and he just starts taking everything out of existence. It's a giant eyeball in the sky.
Oh, wow.
That's just there all the time. They walk outside, there's a giant eyeball in the sky just looking around. And whenever it looks at, just dematerializes. I think it's called a dematerializer.
So at any moment, they could technically dematerialize.
Yeah, I mean, that's the episode I'm on right now. That story arc is going on.
Wow.
It's kooky, man. It's crazy. It's awesome. I'm glad I saw that they've already started filming season 2. So, because this is one I could see totally just like after the first season being like, nope.
Oh my gosh.
But it's crazy, and I really am enjoying it. And after the first 2 episodes, I was ready to come in here and say like, no, skip it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you didn't even like the first 2 episodes?
No, it was really slow, and
that's crazy. I didn't think it would be that bad. That gets me nervous.
I don't like
origin,
having like slow origin.
But not a single person basically knows this.
Correct, including me.
Yeah, knows this group of people.
So I guess it's good that I got that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And it's a pretty decently high profile cast. I mean, Brendan Fraser, Timothy Dalton, Alan Tudyk. I mean,
yeah, that's a really good cast, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's worth. Swamp Thing's coming anyway. Just pay the $70 and get your yearly thing.
Right.
Just do it because you'll want to watch this show.
What else is on there?
I haven't looked.
Titans,
which I want to watch.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about Titans.
I haven't looked around. A bunch of comics. First off.
Oh, really?
Oh, like all the DC comics. It's like DC Comics Unlimited. So you probably
and you just have them.
Yeah, it's an app, so you could put it on your iPad, whatever you want.
Is it? You have it on?
I have it on my Amazon Fire.
Not Xbox.
It is out for Xbox now.
Okay,
that was a big complaint early on, but I think it is now out for Xbox.
Okay, because that's what I need to get it on.
Yeah, so totally check it out. It's
all right.
It's great. It's great. Marley hates it.
Well,
because I watch it at night in bed, and it's super creepy.
Oh, really?
Not creepy.
It just weird, like you said. Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. It obviously certainly won't be anything Amy will enjoy, obviously.
I'm going to point out listeners that I specifically know will love this show. Erica, you'll like this show. Tony will like this show. Maybe, I don't know, Erica, I'd be interested to see what she thinks, but Tony will love this show.
Okay, that's
absolutely. Because he, like, after I was talking about Happy, he started watching that.
Yeah,
if you like Happy, you'll like this show, but it's even crazier and weirder than Happy.
Yeah.
It's not even...
Yeah. I mean, you got to take that in consideration when talking about, I mean, there's a robot man and an Elastigirl and a cyborg. And I mean, take it with a grain of salt.
It looks like they're going straight out of the mind of Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
Like they have introduced, and I don't know if he's in the rest of the season, but in the last episode they introduced, is it Animal, Vegetable, Mineral Man? Yeah, Animal. I think it's Animal, Vegetable, Mineral Man. And he's a man that's part animal, mineral, and vegetable.
There's already a guy that's a street.
Yeah, well, he's not in it yet, but I think he's going to be in it. He was in the comic.
Okay.
It's crazy.
That's very crazy.
I recommend it.
What I want to know is what's in the box,
What's
Chris?
in that box?
What's in your box?
Well, can't say that.
Why? It's your box.
It's true. I don't know, Jerry.
There's so many books in there. How many books do you get in a box?
Jerry,
golly.
this is so old.
Is it? I love it.
This is our oldest one yet.
This is what I've wanted to stumble upon is old stuff.
April 29th, 2014.
Oh, man. That is pretty good.
Did we do a 2013? No.
No.
This
I
is
think
the
the earliest we've had is like a 16 or 17.
I know it's old because I found this old book that I do not anymore collect, and I haven't for a long time. It's a Dark Horse title. Captain Midnight.
Captain Midnight. I don't even know this.
I started collecting this specifically only because I loved the art.
Okay.
But this episode,
let me look.
Isn't that great?
Let me get it.
Mainly the cover art, which I
All right.
really enjoy on all of them.
Pass it over here. Let me get a good look at this.
Captain Midnight, and I read the first 10. What issue is that?
Fight for a Better Tomorrow episode, or it's number 10.
Okay, so I read the first several issues, and I was enjoying it. So
Who's the writer on this? Joshua Williamson and Fernando Dagnino.
I thought for some reason, and I'm totally wrong when I say this, but I thought for some reason Kevin Smith was writing that.
This is a big time digital art book.
It's digital art for sure,
but it's very good.
You know, I was reading that at the same time I was reading The Bionic Man and the Bionic Woman,
okay,
which Kevin Smith wrote.
Ooh. Yeah, I do like this art. It's like so clean.
It's very, very clean.
It reminds me of a Captain America style fighter.
But now I have one that you're going to enjoy more. From the mind of Charles Soule.
Ooh, he's good. I like him.
Swamp Thing, number 31.
Oh,
Swamp Thing, out of his body.
Out of his body.
I like that.
Brr, I am the swamp.
This is still part of the New 52 run.
For the longest time, I think I've said this before. But for the longest time, I had on Facebook that, you know how you give like a little quick description? My quick description was like, I am from the swamp. I live in the swamp. It was the beginning of the Swamp Thing TV show from the 90s.
Yeah.
It was like the monologue that he says in the intro to the show. And I just wrote all of that down as my description because I thought it was, first off, hilarious to me.
Yeah, that's the first
funny
moment of our bonding.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, that was the first thing. I said something about how I was reading Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, no. I'm like, have you seen my Facebook? It's like Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
That was the beginning.
It was. Okay.
It was Swamp Thing. That's what started it all.
That's what bound us together.
That's what started the Snarf was Swamp Thing. And then that discussion turned to Batman, and then it turned to
Doctor Who.
No, then it turned to Doctor Who.
Yeah. At a Super Bowl party.
And that's what locked it.
But it
started with Swamp Thing. It will start with Swamp Thing, and it will end with Swamp Thing.
Yeah. We will die with Swamp Thing on our grave.
Guys, nobody knows anything about Swamp Thing.
No,
and let
nobody.
me tell you, Dan, you're missing out.
Dude, the guy is something.
It's the best. The comics are great.
He's a lover. He's a
The
fighter.
80s movie is an 80s movie.
Right, yes, that is.
It's got nudity in it.
And the 90s show is a 90s show.
It's about as 90s of a 90s show as you can 90s.
It reminds me of like the Incredible Hulk TV show.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I mean? But I honestly believe it's better.
It was not bad.
No, and I think the Swamp Thing character in that show looks really good.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this new Swamp Thing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be better.
Like
it better be better. But either way, so Chris was literally sitting on a spike. It's a thermometer, meat thermometer.
It's a soil thermometer.
Meat thermometer.
It's for soil.
What's your rectal temperature? Because you literally just pulled it out.
I was toiling in the soil and 92.
Oh, you're too low.
This thing is real sharp.
That's why it looks like a meat thermometer.
Yeah, well, it's a soil thermometer. Another book that I no longer collect or doesn't even run anymore.
Exist.
But I really love this book is The Illegitimates. I think I put it on my list for comics for new readers.
Yes.
Taron Killam from SNL.
No, I thought he still writes it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe it just finished. But
I think it just finished.
He did a whole run of it.
Yeah. Well, this was a cool book that I really enjoyed because the premise of it is if there's a James Bond type character, and this is number 5, if there's a James Bond type character that I think he dies, I can't remember, I think he dies.
Okay.
And what you find out is that this James Bond character, as he's having his, adventures, he's impregnating all of these women.
Yeah, and it's all of his kids,
and
right?
it's all of his children later on. They're his illegitimate children.
Yeah.
That like band together and form it's kind of a funny book.
I guess I didn't realize it came out that long ago. I thought it was more recent than that.
Well, this is number 5 and this is in 2014.
Right,
so.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it came out a while ago.
Yeah, I don't think it's running anymore, but here we go. Marvel.
More Deadpool.
Deadpool versus Carnage.
Ooh.
Number 3.
It's a wild cover. A lot of red.
2 very different characters, by the way.
Yes. Yes.
I'd be interested to read this.
Mucho differanto.
The Carnage symbiote must attach to Deadpool. That's pretty sweet.
Obviously. Cool.
Well, it says versus, Jerry, so versus never means versus.
It doesn't. It always means let's team up and kill something bigger for this one issue, and then we're mad at each other again.
Yeah.
So they put multiple issues in the same bag inside of a box.
Yes.
So it must be
sir.
the same book.
No.
No?
It is not. They just bag them together.
Why did they do that?
They always do. Every time.
I don't get as many in a box, Chris. Like you always have like 19 different.
Do you get boxes of comics?
Not anymore. I haven't in a while.
Oh, that's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing I got today. I got a new, the other day, I was like, hey, I'm pulling all these episodes or books out. I need to bag and board them and put them away, but all my boxes are full.
Oh, wow.
So I ordered a whole new set of boxes.
Like the long boxes?
Well, they're short boxes.
Okay.
Long boxes are ridiculous.
Yeah, most of them.
They're short boxes, but they're drawer boxes.
Aha. I just saw a bunch of those on.
And they're stackable. So you can stack them up as many as 5 high. And they even if you pull the drawer out, the shell will hold up to 5 boxes full on top of it.
Wow.
And then there's little pieces that tie them together. So it's like a comic drawer box shelving system.
Nice.
It's kind of expensive.
I was just gonna say that had to have cost some cash.
Yeah, it was like $100 with shipping for 5 boxes.
For $5, so $20 a piece.
And that's like 150 issues per box. The problem is I already have 5 full short boxes.
Yeah.
So I was going to order 10 boxes. And then I'm like, when I saw $200, I'm like, oh my God, I can't.
Just for boxes.
Just going to buy 5, which is so dumb because I'm going to pay shipping twice. But
yeah. And you're going to need the other 5.
I'm going to. Yeah, definitely.
Like you already know you're sitting in the room.
I just couldn't justify it at the time.
filled with.
I don't have any disposable income right now because my wife just bought a Roomba.
Oh, Roomba. Yeah, we got to talk about that. Roomba. Quick. Let's go.
Well, I'm going to talk about it right now.
Okay.
We got a Roomba. I have a robot living in my house.
You do.
I was very against the Roomba purchase.
Have you ever heard of SkyNet?
I was against the Roomba purchase at first.
No?
Yes, I've heard of SkyNet.
Okay, well then you know that you would be the first to die then.
Well, I don't see how that thing can be very
I guarantee you there's knives inside of it.
There is like spinning brushes.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, she gets this Roomba. I was pretty much against it initially because it was like a super sale on Amazon. It was like half price.
They're expensive.
Yeah, it was half price though. It's a lower model, so it wasn't that bad really. I think it was $400.
Okay.
And
I've been wanting one.
So I was against it. I'm like the first person in the world that would want a robotic vacuum cleaner.
Right.
But I'm like 10 years late to this party because they've been out forever.
We all are. Yeah.
And like a lot of people I know have them, and they just talk about how great they are. But I always just assumed like my dog is insane when it comes to vacuum cleaners. Yep. And I'm like, we're gonna go to work, and that little robot's gonna go around, and that all day long the dog's gonna be barking and freaking out. I'm like, that's not good for the dog.
Right.
Like I don't think he'll destroy it, but I think it would give him a lot of anxiety.
Stressed out. Yeah.
And so I was pretty much against it for that reason always. But Marla's like, nah, we'll do it. We'll figure it out. So I'm like, okay. Turns out it doesn't bother him at all.
Okay.
It's pretty quiet.
She also put some Snapchats out of him just like yipping at it a little bit.
That was the first time. And then we ran it when I got home from work today. He didn't even look at it. It was more the kids chasing it around nonstop.
Right.
And they like try and jump over it and like run around it.
And they're going to land on it.
They're going to destroy this thing.
Yes.
So it can only run when we're all gone at work.
Yeah.
So it ran like 2 rooms in my house. And we have...
Fills up.
We vacuum quite frequently. And then we have a lady that cleans our house twice a month.
Okay.
And she does a great job. So I don't want to disparage her when I finish the rest of this statement. Did 2 rooms of my house. And I had to empty the bin twice. So it did the 2 relatively small rooms, by the way. And it was full.
So that was my question.
It's a small little cartridge, but it was jam-packed.
It's got this little itty bitty bin. I don't see how this can be very efficient, especially.
Well, if it's running every day, after your initial clean, it probably isn't that bad.
I know, but so you go to work and you come back and it ran for 15 minutes, and it's full and it has to sit there and wait for you to empty it.
Yeah.
Did you really gain anything? I mean, you must. People get them all the time.
I think once you let it run a couple times, it probably cleans all this crap that you think you've been cleaning.
Yeah.
And then it probably doesn't get as full.
Especially, I could definitely see where it'd be beneficial in my house because of the floor space. Like it could just run over the floor and get that dust.
Your house,
that I see.
Need to get the mop one.
Yeah,
people have both.
There's a mop one.
Yeah, one of my friends has both. They're separate ones. It'll wash your floor.
No way.
It'll wet wash your floor. Wet wash.
You can't like leave water on the floor.
No, it cleans it. It like washes it and vacuums up the water at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
That's a thing.
Whoa.
But you can't get one machine that does both. You have to have the vacuum one and the mop one.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
So you're definitely going to have to get a Roomba.
So can I just get the mop one and expect it to clean up the dust too?
Well, it won't clean your carpets.
I don't have any carpets. The bedrooms have carpets, but that's it.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, but
the rest of it's all hard.
It's amazing. It actually works. And I told Marley, I'm like, we don't have that much floor space. Like, we have a pretty big house, but we have stuff all over.
Yeah,
there's going to bump into stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like, how much bare floor space is there? Your house is a lot more than mine.
But I just feel like it's turning all the time, and it goes in such random patterns. I don't see how it can cover the floor.
It figures it out. It does it. It covers every bit of the floor. It did their kitchen, right? It went around and did another room. And I realized when I did the kitchen, I'm like, missed a bunch of parts of the kitchen. It went in the other room, did a bunch of stuff, came back to the kitchen, did those parts that it missed, left that room, did another part of the other room, came back, and then went around all the baseboards because by that time it had mapped the room.
Really?
It's pretty cool.
Oh, dang.
It's definitely worth getting.
More and more people keep getting these things that are close to me, and it justifies as to why I need one just because other people have it.
Well, give me
Isn't that the American way?
yeah,
Like
keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm just trying to keep up with other people.
I mean, I feel like I waited so long now that like you can buy the older models for like way cheaper.
You feel like lesser than
Yeah.
because you're getting a older model.
Yeah. No, I don't care.
50% off though is ridiculous.
It was way off. But you can also buy like used ones on eBay pretty cheap.
Can you?
Yeah, and then there's other brands that maybe I don't know if they're as good. I didn't research it. But there's another brand one. There's like one that's $200. I don't know.
Yeah, but does it do the work?
Probably not. That was a big step up to the next model. There's a lot of Roomba talk. The next model, which is the new model, the battery life is way better. But I'm like, who gives a shit? It drives back and charges itself.
Do they have like Roomba battles like they did with like do you
Battle
remember?
Bots.
Yeah, do you remember Battle Bots?
Yeah.
It used to be on Comedy Central years ago, and then it was gone, and then now they brought it back. Or they did bring it back on channel.
It was on Spike.
That's right, Spike. And then they brought it back, or they had brought it back on a network show.
I don't know. A lot of those robots on BattleBots looked kind of like Roombas.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever? I wonder if you could do that. Well, I guess you don't really want to destroy your Roomba, but if you could find one cheap.
This one connects to your Wi-Fi, so you can like tell it to do things all day long.
What more besides vacuum do you need to tell it to do?
You can like schedule what days it does what rooms, and then you can move your chairs and furniture those days or whatever you want to do.
Oh, and then it has to remap the room. And then the next time you put the chairs up, it's going to hit the chairs.
Jerry. It remembers.
This sounds like a nightmare.
It remembers everything.
Does it remember where your kids sleep? Because SkyNet does.
You can't get into my kids' room. There's too many obstacles. There's toys everywhere. Yeah. All right, back to what's in the box. Star Wars number 17. Watch your step, Luke Skywalker.
It's crazy to me that this Star Wars run has been out this long.
Yeah.
I remember
17.
Yeah, that's
2014.
Yeah, that's wild to me because I moved in 2015 and I remember getting issue 1.
Yeah. I don't know.
Obviously it was before I moved, but
this is a book I no longer collect. I don't know why. Fables. Love it. That was on my list of the top 10 or top 20 top 10 indie comics.
I think you quit because they have 42,000 issues out.
So much.
It's like
old style the paper though.
The paper, that's really good.
Real paper.
Love that.
And
that's how we're going to do things.
Great art. No, we're not.
We're going to do old paper.
No.
Black and white.
No.
Yep.
Bill Willingham.
The only splashes of color will be red.
Here's a super, super thick 127 issue of The Walking Dead. There's your black and white paper.
Yeah, that's how Walking Dead originated.
Still does it.
I thought they put it color out now.
I don't know.
Yeah, see, you don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's still black and white.
No, I think it's color.
Deadpool,
They
number
switched.
28.
Another Deadpool.
Yes, sir.
Well, we see what you like.
Yes, sir.
You only like 4 different comics. Deadpool, Star Wars.
I mean,
What else?
I only collect certain stuff.
No, you need to get every issue ever made of every comic. That's the idea here.
That would be great. Here we go.
All right.
Another one. Saga.
Oh, I read that one. That's really good.
Chapter 19. This is a good one.
They that cover they use for the collected trade.
For the trade. Yep.
Yeah.
That is true.
It's so good. Saga, guys.
That was number 1 on both of our lists.
Yeah,
No, Why the Last Man was. That
Yeah.
was number 2 on both of our
I
lists.
know Erica's read it, but if you want to get into comic books, it's a little bit out there, but it's like Romeo and Juliet in space, and
way better.
yeah, but also
A lot of nudity.
tons of war and raising a child, and I don't know. You have to read this. You have to read this book.
Yeah.
It
Saga.
is so good.
Daredevil number 3.
That's the
Mark
cool,
Waid run.
That's a really cool cover.
This was a transformative run, I feel like.
How many issues were there in that?
I don't know.
There's quite a few, but it just finished.
So this is a great one for new readers to buy the Mark Waid run of Daredevil. that started obviously in 2014.
Right. Is that number 1?
No, this is number 3.
Oh, I was going to say, holy cow.
The reason being is...
So you have the number 1?
Yes, for sure. I got like 3 copies of it.
Really?
Yeah, I love that book.
Yeah, that's really good.
The reason being is this is a complete reboot of Daredevil.
Yeah.
And it's a return to the like lighter, more tongue-in-cheek, like swashbuckling adventurer.
Yeah.
And it's a very fun event. It's less dark than a lot of Daredevil.
Yeah, it just lightened him up quite a bit.
And
now,
the art's really
personally,
fun. I mean, yeah.
I like the dark.
Jerry the Prowler.
Yeah, the Prowler likes the dark and gloomy
prefers
and
the gritty.
Yeah, I'm so gritty. Give me that grit.
Deadpool Annual, number 2.
Yeah, well, we like Deadpool, apparently, because you've had 7 of those in that.
There's a lot of Deadpool that comes out.
I know. They do come out with a lot. So are those all different stories, or are they the same run?
No, so there was the main Deadpool book. Then there was a mini series was Deadpool Carnage, and then that's an annual.
Okay, so they do it like, do they do it like Batman where there's like 17 different runs at the
No,
same
but
time?
there'll be, at any given time during the year, there'll be like mini series runs.
Okay.
And they do that a lot.
Yeah, they do.
Daredevil does that a ton.
Yeah, I didn't know if they did it like, if they were doing Deadpool like Batman where there's, like there literally is 5 different stories going at the same time.
Right. No, I don't think so, for the most part. Deadpool. That's what I said. Deadpool, number 29. This is a miniseries. Original Sin was a miniseries.
That looks like a really cool cover, too.
That is a really cool cover. Gosh, I just want to read these right now.
You can read, Chris, I think. I've heard of it.
Rick Remender.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Number 4. I don't remember any of this run, so I must not have read any of it.
Yeah, I definitely have not. The only Winter Soldier I've read is Ed Brubaker.
Not the new one? Not the Kyle Higgins run?
No. The first one. The first issue I did.
Batman, number 31, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo.
Yeah.
Right here. Capullo, bro.
Capullo!
0 Year, final act. I remember this cover.
Yep.
This was also the cover for the trade, right?
Yep, the fifth trade, I think, is what it is. But I have that.
I've definitely read this.
Yeah.
For sure. And
I have that book.
0 Year was...
That's the start of when I didn't like it.
Well, I will say 0 Year was... For me, I felt like it was a super cool concept. This cover is amazing. It's it's like a overgrown, a post-apocalyptic Gotham City, and Batman sitting there with a backpack and a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
But it was like rushed in. You never really understood how they got there.
Yeah.
And then
I take that back. It's not that issue. It's like issue 40 is where I think it's 40 where I didn't start liking it, because in that run he's still fighting like the Riddler and stuff, right?
Yeah, this is the Riddler.
Yeah,
that was the whole 0 Year thing.
Okay, so
this
after
is the
that,
one. I think this might be the episode, the issue, literally, where he has to answer the riddle, like in the arena.
Yeah, he falls down into that arena through some stuff.
If you want to see Batman fighting a lion,
this is the book for you.
This is your book.
No, I liked that one pretty good. It's when Jim Gordon started taking over.
Which I think it's called. Wasn't it called Endgame?
No, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Captain Midnight, number 11.
Another one. Boy, that art does look really good.
The covers specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what we need, Chris, is some catchy cover art.
I really liked that run of, I can't remember if it was Bionic Man or Bionic Woman.
Was that the last one? Captain Midnight?
Last one. That's the end of what's in the box.
Okay. Go ahead. You can finish your thought.
That's a good one to go back to. That was a good one. Kevin Smith wrote it.
What was it again?
I think it was either Bionic Man or Bionic Woman, or both. I can't remember.
Okay.
I think it was Bionic Woman for some reason. Do you remember the show Bionic Woman? Like the more recent one.
Oh, no.
Like within the last 10 years, there was a Bionic Woman show. I think it was on CBS.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Actually pretty good.
You watched all of it?
Yeah,
or?
I watched all of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why have you never spoken of this before?
It was a long time ago.
Oh.
Let me look up when it was. keep people entertained.
Well, yeah, I've never watched that. I remember the Bionic Man and the, what was it, the $6 million man or $3 million man?
$6 million man.
Yeah.
That Steve McQueen?
Right. And that wasn't both of them the
No,
guy?
no, that was the Bionic Man.
The Bionic Man did all the
Yeah.
kind of like Cartman does.
So the Bionic Woman was a show in the 70s, right? But then it relaunched in 2007.
Oh, wow.
And who was the Bionic Woman?
Nobody obviously cared about this.
It was based upon the novel Cyborg by Martin Caidin and its TV adaptation, The $6 Million Man. I think Bionic Man was based off of the $6 Million Man, but I can't remember.
I know they tied into each other somehow. Or it was like a direct ripoff.
That's the series quit because of the writer's strike. Remember that big writer's strike?
Yeah. That was a big deal.
One episode or one season. Jamie Summers.
Junk.
No, it was pretty good.
Sucked.
But I can't remember if
SkyNet.
It was Bionic Man, the comic that Kevin Smith wrote.
Bionic Man. Okay.
It was good. I think it was, I don't remember who released it. Maybe it was Dynamite. I think it was Dynamite Comics.
All right. Well, we're at our time. We're done, man. We're done for this week. You've went over again, like normal. Your fault. I'm sick of it. We're done. We're through. It's over. Snarf Talk's done. Over. Never doing it again. Until next Thursday. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, see ya.
Not happy about it.
Not going to talk to you again.
For Snarf Talk this week,
I'm Jerry.
and I'm Chris.
Hey, we'll catch you on the flip-flop.